Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Valorant Oceania Tour 2021 Stage 3 Open Qualifiers 2. It's a huge mouthful, I know, and tonight on another cold, lonely Melbourne night in lockdown, I'm DigitalCasts. Joining me is Temp0ral. How you doing?
I am fantastic tonight. Looking forward to this round of 16 matchup. It promises to be an absolute banger. We've got two teams, Shadownet and Pigeon Esports, who have been making their way into the scene. We've seen varying amounts of success from either of them, and I think this is a good test for the team to see how they've progressed along over the course of the year. Because, of course, only one of them goes through, and for the other one, it's the end of the road in this Valorant Oceania Tour for 2021.
Yeah, indeed. And there is no losers bracket, at least for the Open Qualifier, so it is a bit of a single elim. So that means both teams, they have to give it their all. Thankfully, though, it is a best of 3, so it's not a best of 1 upset situation, kind of. But yeah, you said that Shadownet earlier, in the past, at least when Valorant came out in OCE, they were a team that's been around for quite a while, especially a few of the players on the roster. Vesta Chax, Calamari, Del Toro. Don't quote me on perhaps the first two, but the latest two, definitely, I've seen them on Shadownet. And they definitely were hovering a little bit down there for quite a while, but then in the recent months, they've been really picking up their game, practicing and improving as we speak, picking up a new player, explosive firepower in the form of Baki. And I believe recently, in parts of the LPL league, they managed to upset, well, not upset,
Legends
but beat,
division.
yeah, Legends. They managed to beat Team Bliss on quite a few maps.
They did. Actually, I think they won their match against Team Bliss, but then they lost in the semi-final against the same team. So they finished top 4 in Legends, which is no mean feat in itself. They are some of the best teams in the region. It's as high as you can go within the LPL framework itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you alluded to there, this roster has been around for a while. Del Toro in particular, been the mainstay constantly on this roster over it's all various iterations. But even looking at the rest of the team, there's everyone besides Baki was playing back in First Strike in December last year. So I appreciate the commitment that these players have shown, this August shown, to keeping the roster together, letting them work and build. Because we've seen they haven't had the opportunity, I think you could say, to have a good showing in the open qualifiers. They've made it to the round of 16 3 times so far. This is their 4th adventure here in this round. The last 2 times they came up against both Bliss and Mind Freak. So Bliss, a little bit of a bogey team there for them. They can not worry about that. But they were, at least, even in those losses, they were still able to take away a map off each of those teams. So that's 2 top 8 teams that they've been able to go toe-to-toe with and make it a series against. I think coming into this match today, facing off against Pigeons, this might actually be the best chance they've had of progressing past the round of 16. And if they do make it through today, a round of 8, they're only 1 win away from making it into the first closed qualifiers of their Oceania Tour adventure.
Well, getting into the closed quals obviously is an achievement, but however, the thing is, you still have to go against the sort of lower top 8 teams to get into the actual closed quals or regional finals. So it's definitely still a task to be reckoned with. But hey, one step at a time, just like Team Nebula, as we know earlier on. I talk about them all the time, they started off as a younger team, but they've been playing so hard, and then now look at where they are. A little bit of a plateau currently, but nonetheless, I expect to see big things from them. But now let's actually talk about the other team tonight, Pigeon Esports. We mentioned earlier off stream that this is a ex-Bandits roster who I think have been dropped or they just left, and they picked up a few newer players as well. Because today, looking at in the lobby, we obviously have Dilusion, Issa, Yuna, I think that was also a Bandits player, but Jerky
Yuna has been
and
around
Mystery
playing with
Fifth.
him, yeah.
I'm not too sure who the 5th would be, because the last time these two teams actually faced off for the Autumn Cup Legends, Shadownet, they did win 2-0, right? But Pigeon Esports, the roster did look relatively different. They had CJH, Hayes was there, SVK, Ronan, and Q1. So now that we look at it, this is actually quite the different roster.
It is. They've even if you look through their recent history, it's been a mixed bag of not only agents they play within the maps, maybe having trouble finding identity, but it's just been a constant rotation of players within that roster as well. And it's very difficult to make consistent progress as a team if you can't even get that lineup down. Not sure on the reasons behind it. Maybe there's real life stuff. Maybe it's just trying things out, setting things up for the future. But I think if anything, it's they're not going to necessarily be able to repeat the performance they had in the last stage. In stage 2, they made it to the second closed qualifier, so they were one of the top 12 teams in the region at the time. They came up against some stiff competition there, but it was a good start. The fact that they haven't been able to keep a hold of those players, keep consistently playing, unfortunate for them. But I think if anything, it's going to make this an interesting contest, because if you purely looked at the teams without considering the rosters themselves, you'd say that Pigeons has the better record in official tournaments. So Shadownet's going to be on the back foot. But I think with that little bit of confusion coming in for Pigeons, that gives Shadownet a bit of a leg up and evens the match out a little bit more.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Last night we went, map 3 all the way, even going close to overtime. But yeah, we're just waiting on a 5th player right now for Pigeons Esports to come in. I'm not too sure what the situation is, so we may have to go to a short, commercial break in a bit. But looking at the vetoes, that is something we can talk about early on. Now, it'll be 3 maps: Ascent, Icebox, and Haven. Shadownet picks Ascent, Pigeon Esports picks Icebox, and Shadownet once again picks Haven. The reason also that we aren't seeing, Bind, which I believe is actually a really good map of Shadownet, is because Shadownet banned Breeze, Pigeon Esports banned Bind, so therefore it comes to these 3 maps. And I believe that that Shadownet actually plays Ascent very well. That being one of their best maps in which they managed to go toe to toe and even take down Team Bliss and Mindfreak on.
Yeah, last time they played Mindfreak, they took it. Sorry, they actually lost it to Mindfreak, but they beat Bliss on it recently. So they've had a good run against all the other teams. They played a couple of losses in there. They went 9-13 against Villains. That's a decent result. So definitely one of their strongest maps, and they've been picking it first. So it's something that Shadownet believes in as well. And I guess given the looking at the way Pigeon has played on this map, they played a fair bit, but they haven't had the best luck. Nebula probably the biggest name they've taken down there. So a good place to start for Shadownet. It's their map of choice. It comes up first in their picks every time. So I think this series is going to if Shadownet get off to a good start. When we go to Icebox, a little bit more dicey for these teams. That really could go either way. We have seen Pigeons being the one they picked it this time. They also picked it in their match last night against a team I should know the name of, but I've forgotten. So I guess
there's a lot of teams.
Yeah, so, I've got the bracket. I can have a look. Let me just scroll down.
Well, you have a look as well. I have a slight update from the teams. It's because DigitalCasts, he's the only player we're waiting on right now. So he may be on the bathroom, maybe he's still sleeping. We'll find out in a bit. But yeah, they have 5 minutes. Otherwise, the game will be started. Either it's a 4v5 or we'll see what happens. So yeah, Temp0ral, you mentioned that Cracked was the team that went down to Pigeons Esports last night.
Yes, Curact. It was very tight in the first map, but it was 14-12. So I'm just trying to bring it up so I can see what maps there were, because the first map I know was definitely 14-12. It was Ascent. So Pigeon at least have some form on this map. Close though. They did go 13-6 in Icebox. So I think if Shadownet do take away Ascent, we go to Icebox.
Yeah.
A bit of form there for Pigeons, depending on, of course, what roster they throw out. Because it looks like Curact has Snowy is Cool, who I think played for Bandits at some point too. Wow. So get around anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, what comes around, what goes around comes around. That's the saying. Sorry.
Shouldn't have left.
Yeah, but okay, look, tell you what, let's just maybe talk about the maps a little bit later. But look, Ascent, Shadownet, they should be poised to take that. Icebox, I think it's a little bit no man's land, but once again, Shadownet, they've been practicing hard, and they should have a decent composition going to Icebox as well. So my prediction, at the very least, is I wouldn't be surprised if it went 2-0. But however, if it does go to map 3, which will be Haven, maybe anyone's game. Once again, though, like you said, Pigeons Esports, they are the wild card, so to speak, at least in this matchup, so they may actually give us an upset. I call it an upset.
Yeah, as much as I would like to lean back on last night's result and think go for a 2-1, no, I think you're right there. It sounds a bit wishy-washy, but yeah, I think Shadownet definitely take Ascent. Icebox, anyone's game, but I think Shadownet will just be able to edge it out, especially given the perhaps sort of rush nature we're getting the feeling from Pigeons already. Having trouble getting here on time, and talking about the rule book, when can we start and whatnot, probably just plays in your mind a little bit. May not have had the right warm up they need, whereas Shadownet all here on time, they're ready to go, and they've already got that synergy down pat. So
discipline towards
yeah,
to some extent, not to hate
coach
anyone,
too.
but yeah, just to say, yeah, indeed, they have a coach. Shadownet Seraph, small shout out, but let's hope that he does manage to bring the boys another dub. And in saying that though, we are going to have to go to a short break, maybe 3 to 4 minutes while we wait for the 5th player of Pigeon's Esports. So either they come or they play a 4v5 or they forfeit. We'll let you guys know in a moment's time. So don't go away, the game could still be on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and thankfully Temp0ral has managed to arrive into the lobby, so without further ado, let's just get straight into the agent picks, and yeah, map 1, Ascent, let's see what they will be playing, but like we said earlier, man, I said that, you know, it's gonna be Shadownet taking at least map 1, I wouldn't be surprised if they take map 2, but feel free to prove me wrong, players, and look at that, already 4 picks right off the bat.
Yeah, Shadownet definitely know what they want to play. They've got consistent compositions across the maps they play. You see Del Toro picking up the smokes constantly there. Calamari, the player on the team that plays the least range of heroes, at least in games, not commenting on their actual agent pool at all, sticks to the Sova for most maps, only swaps across on Split if they go there, which we're not going to see tonight. Chaks on the Cypher as well. So Vesta and Baki really flex around. I expect to see Jet out of Baki. Expect those two duelists also to pop off. Definitely, if they're on fire, Shadownet is on fire. For Pigeons, as we said before, different rosters means different agent lineups. We're not seeing anything too surprising coming out of them here. Esu on the Phoenix, not something you see every day on Ascent.
Wait, hang on. Esu? I thought his name's Issa.
I'm saying Essa.
Oh, okay.
As in, the UH. What, Esu?
Please. Go on, sorry. Phoenix?
Anyway, Phoenix, yeah, you don't often see it here on Ascent. The rest of the team is pretty standard. You can see there's agents you might not. They're running just the one duelist, so Orange Pearl on the Sage. Sage is definitely an agent you see here on Ascent. She actually stuck around on Ascent a little bit after she went out of favor in the meta later last year, so it's fine. You bring her in. Also, Orange Pearl, definitely great on a duelist normally, so flexing across to the Jet. Looking to see maybe he can farm some orbs, get a few kills, and build up the resurrection pretty fast. Otherwise, the composition is pretty defensive. And look, starting out on the defense, why not? If you can get as much rounds on the board in this half, you don't have to play out the complete second half. So I think really the composition-wise, these two teams are on the side in the first half that you'd want to be on with these compositions. So both of them looking for lots of round wins on the board. The question will be who comes out on top, or do we end up in a 6-6 situation and it's anyone's game from there?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But then again, you know, I swear to God, it's some like gamble or like mind game thing that like, okay, we have to play this composition and start off on the weaker side to fully take away the game in the second half. Because, you know, you start a little bit weaker and then finish strong, I guess. That could be the call. But anyways, of course, camera controls handed over to the lovely Crash, OBS, Premier, Bellon, Observer, OCE. And right off the bat, that's a really aggressive wall by Orange Pearl just for a long control. And that jump, I believe, he spotted out a few players. But Baki basically gets the orb for free, charging up the expensive 7-point blades. They have outside B control as well, just briefly. I don't think they've taken the orb just yet.
No one has.
Slowly going to work over towards mid, and overall just taking this round really nice and slow, creating so much noise.
They're going to back off. They've got the orb. Of course, having Chaks over on the B side means they can ensure that no one's been pushing down B main. They also like to play up through mid, so expect to see that a fair bit.
Wow.
That's Calamari just taking a few pot shots, going to be trading out with their fellow Sova. They're not going to be able to progress through that entryway, so it's going to be all 5 players stacking through B, hitting the B site. A couple of players, very passive, coming through out of Pigeon and Esports. Probably playing for the retake, hopefully for a couple of kills maybe on the entry. Here we go.
Yeah, indeed. Jericho, he's close. They don't spot him out just yet. Good for 1. And Del Toro at that distance manages to right-click headshot him. He's carrying the spikes. It's crucial that he stays alive and makes his way onto the site. Indeed, he does. Spike to go down. 3v4 post-plant retake for Pigeon Esports. And what is that slow orb? Oh my god.
Gonna be difficult to do. Plenty of coverage on site. You got the cam as well, so Chaks can play pretty safe. Vesta in B main. Gonna be a put on a little bit of pressure. Delusion finishes that one off, but trade either way continues his player advantage for Shadownet. Baki is low, no heals available for the team. Gets spotted as well. No follow-up just yet. 2 remaining players. They push separately Digital, but they're just not able to find any value. Chaks picks up a cheeky little 2k to end things off. Nicely done from Shadownet to get off to a good start.
Yeah, I really liked how that round, the Orange Pearl, he used this wall aggressively sort of early on towards A to basically block off that A long rush that may have come, may have not. But then, however, saving one slow orb over towards the retake there, it was a great play indeed, and managed to throw onto the site to ensure that anyone on site would have been in stiff spots. They could be playing close to the wall though, or back site. But then again, that was the issue, because it was a 2v3 retake, and Delusion, I think, over towards stairs, he really had to run on fast, and they just had to take side control and trust their aim instead of trying to bait out an early peek or mistake from Shadownet. And, well, Chaks just picks up both of their heads. This time, though, Shadownet obviously with the buy, and Baki instant mid-control with the Marshall. Let's see him hit some sick shots.
Shadownet do like taking mid on Ascent, so expect to see this a fair bit. Del Toro will be playing towards that catwalk area. This time it's Baki making egress all the way up towards the market. It gives you the option for the to catch those rotations coming through from B as you hit the A site as well.
Oh,
Nebula. Oh, Jerky gets sprayed through. Nice play by Vesta. Calamari scoping out one as well. So site is pretty open. What the hell is going on? Bucky not able to get the drop onto Esu. He's going to pick up the Marshal as well. Door is closed, blocking them off for the moment. Plant will go down. That makes things a little easier though. Only a 3v2 for the retake. You got some flashes on courtesy of Esu as well.
Yeah, Issa, he's managed to get one nasty shot off the Marshal. If he has a few more flashes left, then indeed he could make this retake possible, or at least dwindle the numbers of Shadownet a little bit more. That recon is fantastic. Spots him out, Investor should have this shot down rather easily. But no, Eunice here, with a Spectre of his own, this makes it a little bit challenging. And Shadownet, they are making the right play. Playing back on site for these positions. And DigitalCasts, he gets flushed back over towards the generator here. Above a style points for Issa as Yuna manages to net himself a double. Goodness, they made this a one-on-one. Shadownet, don't lose this round, not like this. And Calamari, he's just swinging, juking around to basically play the objective, confirms the kill. Nicely done.
Yeah, I like that hot hands from Esso as well, stopping that player around Generator from backing up towards the spike. It meant they are able to get the kill there, even if the Phoenix gave their life for it. At the end of the day, the numbers advantage just too much to overcome. At least for Pigeons, they made it expensive for Shadownet, so they're not going to get the bonus they want. Just 3 Sheriffs and a hand if Bucky pick it up as well. No Stinger for the Jet. Going to be playing fast and aggressive. No one's going to be able to farm up that B orb either, so no ultimates coming online, not even the knives. But only one player anchoring down the site, so hard and fast might be the goes, and it will leave Pigeons to play the retake.
Nice early camera by Chax. I like how Shadownet, despite losing 4 players on the previous SMG round, they know that this is the bonus of sorts. Might as well invest into it. Unit, big gun in his hands. That sprays out, maybe able to do a lot of damage. Gets a kill, looking for more. Calamari's so low. Baki has to go huge here with the Stinger, and he just walks into the crosses of Dilution. That's unfortunate. That looks like an AK, I'll be honest, in the kill feed. I never really paid attention to that. But regardless, Temp0ral 4v3 retake. This should be a cakewalk for Pigeon Esports.
Yeah, still a little bit of utility available. Looking for Vesta to go big. Had a quiet one so far, but you've at least also Calamari brought the Spectre into this round, so that might be the biggest tool in the toolbox. But just a swift execution, class all around, keeping everyone alive. Diffuse will come through. It's the rifle round though, so you're not going to be sweating that much too much as Shadownet. So you've still got enough to buy into the next round as well. So for the first full rifle round.
Yeah, and they made it look very, very clean. Definitely taking
they gave us to the they gave us to the defuse for the run it back as well.
Yeah, they did. So obviously, Phoenix Ultimate being 6 points, it's a ultimate that you can really leverage to get early intel, or even better, get an early kill with it. Give your team the man advantage. Especially now, it's super important on a buy versus buy round for Shadownet, which obviously Shadownet, they kind of have to win this, otherwise their economy is going to be in a pretty rough situation. They made the previous 2 rounds a little bit difficult for, Pigeon Esports. They made the previous round a little bit difficult for Shadownet as they had to reinvest heavily for Shadownet. But now in this round, not really much to talk about in terms of ults. It's mainly Issa that you keep your eyes on. And look at that, Gravity Well set up with the hot hands for potentially Shadownet going for the orb take along. But Shadownet just not going that fast just yet. Working slow mid control and just hoping, well not hoping, just waiting, playing a default.
Some aggression out towards A main from the defensive team. The hot hands making sure no one can progress forward. No one's there anyway. Bucky just biding their time. Gonna make a play for the orb. It is being watched by Esu.
Oh, wow.
So plenty of space gained up towards that right side of the map, leaving B alone for the moment. The pinch could come through as well. You've got one player, Deltoro, set up outside tree. The pick onto Dilution is good as well. So now it's a thorn in the side of the defensive team. Chak's in a tricky position for the defense. Going to back off, but they don't quite know that yet either. So the 2 players has drawn the rotation away, but Jerky's making things interesting for Shadownet.
Issa, that's a really ballsy place to ult, but indeed pops it out. Doesn't get anything out of it though. Gets intel. 2 players confirmed out over there. No slow orbs just yet. And Shadownet, they have taken short control. Well, look, the defense is rather strong for A. Only Jerky really sits on the side, goes for a reload. They know he's here, and unfortunately can't get the flick onto Deltoro. Okay, Shadownet, you've taken the site. Spike to go down. 3-on-3 post plant. Neural Theft may be used by Chax here.
Yeah, the body's on site, so you'll be able to use it, see where the defenders are coming from. You see they're all in heaven at the moment. There's going to be some rotations around. Orange Pearl trying to get through the door. It is... Oh, I can't quite see it, but I think it's open.
We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Oh, nice recon arrow.
Oh, delightful. Good setup from Shadownet. They're forcing
Player standing.
their opponent to come to them, but Orange0 just walks on site, swings around, 180, gets a second. Again, 1v1, Calamari, can they buy enough time? It doesn't even matter, able to get the drop on Orange0. Nicely done by Villains, expensive, but at least it's another round win on the board.
Well, Orange0 actually, he's left Villains Esports, so it's Pigeon Esports now, but a free
Sorry,
agent.
I see Villain.
Yeah, VLN.
I know it's Pigeons.
I'm not even sure if he can change it, because as far as I'm concerned, Riot, they put it on him when Villains...
There's a limit to the amount of times you can change your name, so it's like once a month or something, so yeah.
Unfortunate. Oh well, free agent things, they kind of struggle. Orange0 really investing into the operator for this round on defense on the Sage. Interesting. Not something I really expect. Let's hope it does pay off as he is playing over towards short, and Baki may fall prey to it. Or not! Baki's just too good! God, what a sharp shot. Shadownet off to a great start.
That is scary. Coming out from Baki. Jet's been a little bit quiet so far. Well, it is what it is, and to make a play for this AORB, but again, it's Jerky and Esu holding down the fort. You're going to get the free orb again, so another step towards the run it back. Actually, I don't know if... Oh, yeah, sorry, Jerky got the kill, so yeah, Esu picking up the orb. Puts him on one now. Triple stack from the defense in tree is going to make sure no one can approach from that side. Just the two players remaining. Checks down as well. A couple of ultimates are available for Shadownet, but not really ultimates are going to use in this situation. DigitalCasts in a good spot to take care of Jerky, making things a little bit more doable, but actually they've got the B sites open to them, so if they make their way onto the site and get the spike planted, they might be able to put themselves in a defensible position.
Yeah, it's doable, but they have to take site first, obviously. If DigitalCasts had the spike, he could TP probably either onto A or B to secure the plant, because it seems like Pigeon Esports right now with the Killjoy lockdown, they're looking to play this really defensively, and they use the ultimate for retake. Not that they probably will need it at this point, as Dilution just instant headshots. Calamari there, DigitalCasts even getting tickled by the shock dart. Yeah, it's a very tall task. 1 on 3. I was gonna say if his Sova teammate stayed alive there, maybe could have used it to deny the Killjoy lockdown. But nice sharp shot by DigitalCasts. 1 on 2. Still doable, but TP's over to A, and look, Issa's just hiding around the corner. Time's running thin. He has the operator out. Okay, that may be his undoing, or not. DigitalCasts plants open. Down he goes.
I'm curious to whether Esu was hiding over there to keep the operator safe, or was actually planning on trying to make sure that DigitalCasts couldn't make it across the A site, regardless of what the reason they were there. It was the perfect position at the right time. So a little unfortunate, I think, for the Omen. You build up the ult, you think, oh, we do have a chance. Nope, not going to happen. Yeah.
But funny thing is as well, actually, the team manager in the chat, he's saying that Esu's name is pronounced Issa.
Issa.
Yeah, I guess that's how it's pronounced. Esu.
I could have clarified that beforehand. Issa.
Oh, good. But hey, look, Shadownet on the bit of an eco here, and Pigeon Esports economy looking really strong. This should be their round to take and to equalize. But let's just see how Shadownet decide to play this. I don't really think they have the... Blades have the pops by Baki, so he's a bit of a big playmaker here. Assuming he doesn't go down early on.
Well, it won't be going down too soon. Pretty passive from Pigeons. Right now, they know they've got the gun advantage. Orange0 operator back in hand. We'll be covering mid. They won't be able to necessarily see over their own wall. But at least make sure that Shadownet can't approach that way. All 5 players from the attacking team heading over towards the A site. A couple of players there waiting. But once again, they are playing pretty passively. They'll get the intel. The rotations will be able to come through, and there'll be a nice retake in order. The question is, they might... No, just a flash out. Jerky's going to try and find some value through the door for it. Shut, able to take care of Chax. It's a nice little start, but the spike will be planted in the end. Maybe? Oh, there you go.
Interesting angle to plant it as well. I'm guessing they're trying to leverage maybe Hunter's Fury, assuming he does go long. Or just, since it's an eco round, just put bodybuilders on site and see what happens. But Issa, he used his only flash earlier on, so goes for the manual headshot instead to take down Vesta. Retake ultimate. This is going to get rough. Oh, God.
Yeah. Bucket looking for something. You're not going to invest much in the way of anything to even take out the lockdown. Fair enough. Smart play. Your back's against the wall. Don't throw away money into a lost cause. And they're deciding who gets this. Looks like they want to build up one more towards the resurrection. Could Orange0 kill themselves and get the other one? They're probably not. Keep the operator in hand.
What, like neck themselves and res themselves? I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking neck themselves and get the extra ultimate point for dying. Build up the resurrection. But I don't, at this point anyway, Pigeon's not in desperate need of it either.
No.
After a slow start, they've come alive. Their economy is doing great.
Sort of. But then again, like for both teams here, especially Shadownet, they can't really afford to lose more rounds because their economy, if they lose this, it's going to be on another rough eco. They can maybe half armor sheriff it, but now Calamari, he's had the Hunter's Fury for a few rounds now. Hasn't been really able to use it. Vesta, Empress, maybe this is the round he manages to pop it. And Orange Pro once again on the operator. I don't know. Last time he used it, he didn't get much value out of it, but sneaky off angle, and Calamari finally manages to pop the Hunter's Fury. However, a tad too late perhaps. And so Hunter's Fury returned. The illusion gets it onto Calamari instead. That's unfortunate. Shadownet, one man down, no recon arrows for a side take.
That's just asserting your dominance. They hear the other Sova whip it out and go, okay, you're a dead man. I like the targeting that they hit Orange Pearl, trying to take the Sage out of the fight, remove the possibility of the res. So at least I can see where Shadownet was trying to come from to get that done. As it is. Once again, they've taken plenty of mid control, spotted out, forces a slight reposition for Del Toro. Chak's able to take care of Issa. Leaves a bit of openings. You see two defenders actually up in two members of Pigeons up in defender spawn, still undecided on where they think Shadownet's going to be coming. It leaves the side a bit open. Delusion's actually in a good position. Perhaps Red, the rotation coming through, able to get on site as they pop through the Nebula. Paranoia is good actually, forces Delusion off the line. Hit comes down, but there's already three. So there's two defenders on site.
No defenders on site, as that's a really clean side take actually by Shadownet. Very textbook. Flashes out, Paranoia, Jet dash onto site, close the door. Vestas pop the Empress to try lock it down a little bit longer. Neural Theft again! I want to say this is the second time he's used it in this game within 6 rounds. So very nicely done. They know exactly where the last two defenders are for the retake. And now Orange Pearl, I think it's one off of the res, so maybe if he can get a kill, he can bring a teammate back, but it's going to be somewhat difficult. Let's just see what happens, because the Empress may run out soon. Although Vesta, Vesta and Baki simultaneously, they shut down the retake. And Shadownet, they maintain a 1-round lead.
Nice play from the duelists out. I'd like to see them step it up a little bit. They're struggling at the moment. I think if your duelists aren't finding those entries, you're not going to be, especially on attack, you're always going to be struggling to get the spike planted, especially with player numbers. You can't see who's been getting first bloods, first deaths at the moment, but I suspect it's been largely to the side of Pigeons. I know I said their economy is pretty good, but after that one, they're going to take a half buy just to make sure they don't give anything too much away to Shadownet. You're going to play these close angles as well, looking for some cheap kills. You're not pushing up, Bulldog in hand, get it back off. The turret's doing a bit of work, Jack's exchanging blows. It's actually Vesta who comes in over the top, secures that one. Good start. Answered immediately back by onto Del Toro. It means no smokes for the attacking team, no cover.
Yeah, that's unfortunate actually. I liked Shadownet's approach to that B main aggression, having two players there to tag team in and out. And now, a lot of footsteps here. Lear comes through. Delusion, he just his gun down like a rabid dog through the wall. It's only pistols really. I mean, Marshall on Orange Pearl, good initial opener. 3-on-3 post-plant retake, and even has the res guaranteed this time. He can potentially get a res back on, but Marquis playing over towards B main, may be able to go huge here.
Yeah, I think only Delusion's body's in the right. I think it's Delusion at the back. I think there's only one body in the right spot. So if the resurrection is going to come through, it's going to be well within sight. Oh! Into the spot, but what the hell was that? The jet shut down immediately. Now things looking a lot better. Orange Pearl's on fire.
He is! Another slow up as well. Calamari's in a very rough spot. The res, 3v1. Calamari has to do it all. Kill someone now before they get too close. The fake tap, and Calamari swings. Issa swings back with a shot. Oh my god, Pigeon Esports. That's a thrifty retake all off of the back of Orange Pearl, landing those sharp Marshall shots. What did he get? 3 with it, I think?
Yeah, he got a 3k at the end there. What a round, though, to level things up. You pick up some rifles. And now you're facing an eco from Shadownet. So once actually this would be the it wouldn't be it would be the first time they Pigeons put their nose ahead in this map.
The thing
they were able to see this round away.
Do you think about the previous rounds as well, Shadownet? I felt that their attack was just a slightly disjointed to an extent, especially losing Del Toro early on. That definitely isn't what you want, being the only smoker for the team. I think he was aggressing out A-Long sort of by himself there. I mean, Baki was close, but then just too much util. And they know time and time again that Pigeon Esports likes placing util out towards A-Long to challenge. But let's see what this challenge leads to right now, because nice Lear, it makes Jerky back off, and then Gravity Well, it buys just so much time. Slow up as well.
Yeah, Vandal in hands. Gonna stop the Phoenix from aggressing out. We may even just see the runner back invested here. I don't know if they want to put it against an eco, but you could at least do a lot of damage.
It's 6 points, so I think rather it's best to use it. And Baki has to go through that flame wall as well. He even gets tagged by a straight few bullets. 35 HP, no heals on this team. That's unfortunate. Maybe just get the orb at the very least. A small consolation prize.
No, they're just going to give that one up. They know how much pressure there has been put on A main by the defense. It's always going to be difficult to pick up that orb. DigitalCasts will be waiting, catch out any cheeky rotations. Maybe the Pigeons wants to go for the orb. So at least they're thinking about, okay, we can't have it, you can't have it either. But I think when you got a round like this, yeah, you got vested with the Bulldog, but you really need to keep your numbers together. You muster as much firepower as you can.
Yep.
As I say that, rotations through mid, pretty much unguarded by Pigeons, means that an ace hit might be coming into play after all.
I think they want to play the range advantage to an extent against the Shadownet. That Phantom could be really dangerous right now. Jokey confirms they are over towards short. No time to place util. Run back gets popped and spots out the leg of Baki. And look at that. Ease up the run out. After the runner back. Gets one, and that's a done. Spike to go down by Shadownet. So, all things considered, well done. Really passive play by DigitalCasts. He's putting in the works. Good for a 2, maybe a 3, or not. All down to Calamari. Left, right. Good night. Good luck.
God, the one kill that did come through from Issa wasn't a Vestu, who's the only player on Shadownet with the rifle, so the worst possible kill at the worst possible time. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's an eco. Sometimes that's just the way things go.
Indeed.
You at least take one rifle away from your opponent, I guess, keeping Una honest. And they're going to be bought for, so make sure they're balancing the economy well. DigitalCasts, did they? No, they didn't use Resurrection in that round. No, they used it 2 rounds ago. Okay.
Well, you do say that, like, in the previous round there, Shadownet, they managed to take mid control and basically walk onto the A side almost for free there off of a smoke, which, good job on their part. And then again, I think the real key right now for them, especially on the attack in what remains of the first half, is to base out as much useful as they can, especially for Astra over towards A long. As long as they apply pressure, we should be seeing Pigeon Esports throw out a few gravity wells, maybe more, and the hot hands, because they consistently have the same lineups. Once you can decrease the amount of util Astra has, it minimizes her effect later in the round as a sort of defensive agent, because we know how good her util is. Plus, just to add on as well, defensive agents, right now for Pigeon Esports on the defensive half, you said it at the very start, they have a Killjoy indeed, so good at locking down B side. Basically been sitting there all the time. They go B, they get slowed down, they get damaged. They go A, you have your Phoenix and your Gravity Well Astra util combo. So I'm a little bit concerned actually for Shadownet when they switch over to defense, because they don't have those kind of agents. But to say that, all right, Shadownet, they've managed to work their way onto the B side. Spike is there, looking to be a potential 5-on-5 post line.
Yeah, Pigeon's backing off. They can make the retake though. DigitalCasts once again not waiting for the spike to be planted, blasting away. Bucky down. That's Barky, not the Bucky like the shotgun.
Spike planted.
So they're going to be approaching from the same angle. So the Shadownet, they can probably be a little bit confident. They haven't got anyone actually. Is Vesta in B main? No, Vesta is watching from the alleyway. So they've got no one in B main, so they've got the trip behind them. Hunter's Fury comes out, but Yuna is not going to drop the lockdown. Gets killed, but at the end of the day, it's just Calamari left. It's over 25 health. If it's around on all sides, shock darts as well. It's whips out the sheriff as you do, and that'll be another round going the way of Pigeons.
Yeah, that was difficult. Shadownet, they had quite a few players alive post-plant, and then they just got dismantled by Pigeons Esports. And as you can see there, those 2 final Astra stars towards back side, that's what I'm saying. You could have potentially baited out those 2 stars earlier on at the start of the round if you're Shadownet. Just show a pressure over towards A, and that's 2 less stars to worry about. Calamari may have been able to get a few kills there, but he's got stunned, he got fragiled, and basically nowhere to run, really. Now, 2 rounds left in the half. Pigeons Esports, their economy looking rock solid to last them for the rest of the half. Good. But have a Shadownet onto another eco yet again. I mean, not really ultimates they can use to leverage into their advantage. Well, let's see what happens.
No, they're just looking to do a little bit of damage.
Oh.
Honestly, this round's probably about getting kills, building up the ultimates for themselves, so they have something to come into the 12th and final round with. You don't want to be going toe-to-toe with just rifles, because so far it hasn't really been paying off for them.
No. I just want to say as well, DigitalCasts, being on the Sage Sniper, he's actually managed to make it work rather well. I doubted him initially, but then after the Marshall, like, 3K, he's pretty consistent with it. Now, we on the eco. It looks like push is coming through from Shadownet. They managed to work their way onto the site, and DigitalCasts, oh, he's taking a lot of damage there, but so has Yuna.
Just a bit of damage traded out. Spike not down yet. At least everyone gets onto site, but we've seen this is a very familiar position. Shadownet gets the spike down. All 4 players on site. Now here comes the retake. Issa wasting no time getting in there. Bit of spray, has to back out. The rest of the team, I think Yuna might be going to be planting that lockdown as well. Tried to use it last round, but got killed in the process.
Pigeon Esports, there's 4 players over towards defensive spawn for the longest time. Now they're starting to work on classic wallbang spots. Just take their time. Look at this. Once again, systematically, Shadownet, they're just getting gunned down. They spot out Vesta. Complete flawless retake. Especially great job there from Issa. Getting onto the site first. No holds barred. And he got some intel initially and still managed to watch B main. Just making sure no one was on a late lurk. And this is just fantastic. Fantastic to see from Pigeon's Esports.
Yeah, just clinical play from them, showing that they've got the experience, even if the team honestly hasn't been playing together for the longest amount of time. The players know what they're doing, and I think also for the side of Shadownet, they do play pretty predictably. Their setup is throw Chax over, watching B main, you play through mid, and it's. I mean, I was just watching through their VODs today, and it was largely the same thing. Yes, they're good at this map, but if a team has been paying attention to how they play, you know how to shut it down. You can see them putting a lot of that pressure on A main. That seems to be the side that Shadownet wants to go for initially. They're not able to take control there, not even able to take the orb in a lot of cases.
I think in this round, Shadownet, I don't want to say predictable, but B hasn't worked out at all for them. They can get on side, they can plant, but then they ultimately end up losing the rounds. Now, this is good. They've applied pressure and noise over towards A, and it baits out a few pieces of util. That's 2 slow orbs, and there's 1 hot hands. There's still some Astra util left. Orange-Pearl, though, where are you going? The Sage Wall as well! Brilliant! It just buys so much time. He's probably good for another one if he just holds onto site for the dear life. Once the smoke clears. Or not.
Oh, Bucky got behind, able to whip out the blades off the back of that. Things looking good for Shadownet. 5 players on site as the plant goes down. The lockdown actually gets there before the spike is planted, but still damage coming through. All of Shadownet.
Oh, that's nerdy.
Out for A main. And will it destroy the lockdown?
No.
No, it won't. It'll get, I think, a 1 player detainer. Oh, Calamari, you poor little Sova.
He got fried there.
Plenty of numbers. Jerky just looking to maybe clutch the round out in the end, shut down. So 7-5. A respectable scoreline given the way the end of that half went, but Shadownet I think would have been looking for a little bit more out of their attack.
Yeah, 75. It's not bad. It's definitely doable, just as long as you win the pistol round. So all things considered, it's a rather even scoreline. That round, though, earlier at the very start, I just want to say, I think it was Orange-Pearl. He phased through the glass wall over towards A heaven. It's something that you can do at a very specific angle, and you can potentially use it for a big play, because as long as you don't break the glass, it's intel that the other team may not know. It's a very niche situation. I don't know if it counts as a little bit of a game-breaking abuse.
Should we be highlighting it on stream?
I don't know. I'm going to do it, though, because I want to see what happens. But yeah, 75, and now sides have switched. And I mentioned earlier that Shadownet, I'm a little bit worried about their defense, because they have Chax, the Cypher, but other than that, they don't really have any agents that have util that does damage. It's a hard, slow down, a push or a choke point. No slow orbs, no mollies, no gravity wells. So let's see how they play this. And aggression is a good sign starting off. They're taking A control. They should allow rotations over to B. And Baki, he gets gunned down over towards mid.
Well, speaking of aggression, it's Pigeons who come out hard and fast, ultimate towards the B side. You spoke about Sharks, the lone player here. It's a nice shock out of nowhere. Duke down. There's at least going to be no Astra coverage. And Shax popping off on side. 2 headshots in a row. Continues the trend. Done enough. Dilution, just the last player remaining. May get the spike down, may not. But at the end of the day, it's looking all Shadownet to take the second pistol round of the map.
Dilution. A classic and a dream, that's all I can say. Chax, well played there as the lone Cypher on side. I mean, the first kill, it was a little bit free because Arjuna didn't actually have a gun out trying to clear sight, just stood there looking over towards lane, and Chax just had the easiest shot of his life. But then the second, 2, and 3rd, those were fantastic, very sharp. And he single-handedly won Shadownet that round, leaving only, of course, Dilution to basically 1vx that out. Now, this could be it, the even scoreline. So, like I mentioned earlier, at the end of the first half, It's a basically even scoreline as long as you win the pistol. Shadownet looking to make that a reality. Baki, of course, on the Marshall on defense. Once again, aggression on the Del Toro. Nice one way, so he doesn't have to back up just yet. The curveball, though, may not help him out. He just gets completely ratioed.
Oh.
Dilution picks up both with the classic. That's a really bad start.
A little embarrassing for Vesta there, spraying around about 3 players, not able to find any purchase. Now site control given over to the attacking team. They'll get the spike down. They've also retrieved those 2 Spectres, so this retake looking so much more difficult now. Players down for Shadownet. They're going to have a little wrap around. They're going to get it on there fast, though, because Eunice coming around the backside. Shaq's going to have to be wary of the fellow Sentinel behind them. He's watching the angle at least.
Oh,
but
no!
The classic winning out over the Spectre again. You can't be losing fights like this, Shadownet. You're just throwing the round away.
Well, let's not say that just yet. Calamari, he can pull out a miracle here. But yeah, a classic free gun pistols. They basically made it a 5v1, almost a flawless eco?
Almost.
Okay, or not. A flawless, what's that? A flawless thrifty. That's the word I'm looking for. But they do get it, and they pick up basically SMGs off of the dead bodies of Shadownet. It's just unfortunate how that happened. That was Shadownet's chance to close the gap and make it an even scoreline to potentially go for more. But then Pigeon Esports just turned everything on top of their head.
And they steal away 3-4 guns out of that. Just probably the worst possible start you could think of for Shadownet. Now they're on the eco themselves. Even if they win this round, actually, it's even in this round. Yeah, they'll be full rifles the next round, but they needed to get some momentum on the board because if you look at the tally of the scoreboard from the first half, it was 6 diffusers from 7-round wins when Pigeons was on their defense. So we know they've got good site takes. Translate that over onto attack when their onus is on them and they get to set the tempo of the play. It's going to be really difficult for Shadownet if they're not able to arrest any momentum out of Pigeon Esports at the beginning of the half because it's just going to get away from them in the end.
Well, let's see what they plan to do with this round. Okay, dancing with the devil just briefly. But yeah, you know, that previous round as well, I get that Shadownet, they had the right idea, I suppose, playing aggression and then the one-way smoke, but they didn't take into account a single curveball and then just Pigeon Esports full bodying over towards long control. Just put a hole, a hole in their plans, literally. And then there was just that, no trades coming out. They had a Rain and an Omen there, no Leers as well. It's just unfortunate how that round went down. Vesta, though, great initial starter. Hedge onto Dilution. Here's footsteps from Esat. Of course, flashes through, leading the charge as a duel should be. Has to clear the site, though, because there is still a loading Sova there. And Esat, hold down W, hold down left mouse button, looking for more.
30 seconds left.
My God, they just backed off. They were willing to give up the side and play for the retake, but Issa having none of that. Charges through door, finally shut down, but the damage is done. Just Chaks left, 1v2. Maybe doable. Spectre in hand as well, but you can see the 2 players playing towards back of site, so the Cypher's going to have to come to them, and with a Spectre, it's going to be very difficult for them to get across that open ground, even with the camera scoping things out for them.
They have a crossfire. Chaks, he can do it, but that doesn't help. He already has no armor. Now he's vulnerable. The turret knows exactly where he is. Chaks! Oh! Maybe could have gotten that spray transfer, but it wasn't meant to be. They're fragile as well. Already put him on 1 shot. So look at this. Pigeon Esports, they managed to win another round. And you know what? It's not a bad thing that they actually lost 3 players in that round because they already had a lot of money to begin with. And plus, on top of winning that round, that $3,000 bonus, those players who died that round, they can just buy full armor and rifles to basically go rifle versus Shadownet. Who for Shadownet, this is their first rifle round in this second half. And they cannot afford to let any more rounds slip right now. They're already down by 3 and you're getting close to the end of the map 1.
And even after buying into this round 3 players on 0 credits, so it's definitely hard done by again. It might end up seeing what they had to go through in the first half. It's buy round eco, and the late stages of this game as Pigeons are piling on the rounds. It gets a comeback gets harder and harder as you go on.
For sure.
In any case, Pigeons, they're happy to play this one slowly. They know that opponents can have rifles in their hands. Just a really standard setup from both teams. Not too much aggression. Seeing about 4 players around the A side. Plenty of mid-control given over to Pigeons as well. Bucky looking to try and punish that a little bit. Dilution able to dodge out. Calamari down. And Bucky pushes the forward layers, gets rid of Orange Pearl, gives their life for it. So trade's going either way. Still going to be favoring the attack.
Yeah, heavily as well. But now, I was originally concerned about the defense over towards A initially because DigitalCasts, he's the only omen towards short and basically the only player on that like lower half of the A site. There's no defensive util there, no cypher traps once again, no mollies to basically buy time. So once he goes down, the Reyna on site has to basically back off or potentially just losing out in a straight duel and giving a man advantage over to Pigeon's Esports. And now heavy utility investment here.
30 seconds.
Kills your lockdown and the runner back, which does get popped by Chax. Nice, and a smoke to come through. This B site should be taken rather easily. But hey, look, it's going to be a 3v4 post-plant retake here. And Chax, nice cam. I like his setup.
I do like the cam. It covers a fair bit of the B side, and the time it took Pigeons to get on means that the spike is still going down pretty late, well after the lockdown. So Shadownet just taking a standard retake at the end of the day.
Oh, Chax, he was blinded there. Still manages to get the headshot. Okay, numbers even. Oh no.
Gonna have to do with unit in B main there. All three players watching it. Temp0ral, unfortunately, not able to get out of the Killjoy sight lines as it is 2v2 as we engage on the site. Looking to Vesta to set up as well. Been quiet so far, but maybe this is the round. They start to pop off the... Oh dear. It's a beautiful recon dart highlighted where they're both standing. 1v1. Vesta swings around, but Jerky finally able to finish them off. Another round goes the way of Pigeons. Expensive for them, but Shadownet are going to be forced back onto the eco.
It's okay for Pigeons because their economy is already so strong. They built it up and they can buy back, no issues whatsoever. They have ultimates to play with this round. Orange-Pearl's not far off of the res, and there's these Cosmic Divide and the Hunter's Fury, which probably won't have to be used by Dilution. Maybe for a desperate, like a really close, post-plant situation when they start losing players. But then again, for Shadownet, another eco. Their economy has been struggling all game long, and we're seeing it. No one's really particularly showing up, at least for map 1, in my opinion. Chax, he's a outlier. He's been doing great work, but then again, one player can't, stand against the whole team of Pigeons Esports who are playing this well. That round there as well, in that 2v2 situation, the recon arrow came through. I really think that Shadownet, they should have taken the chance to shoot it, but regardless, we are going to see mid presence here, really aggressive with pistols only in Dilution smart play. Falls right back, uses intel to guarantee numbers. Spots out 1, spots out 2, then he knows that they're dead close, and he's calling for backup from his teammates ASAP.
Here they come streaming back. Calamari now going to be stuck in a difficult position. The rest of the attacking team are wrapping around from that B-long corridor.
Oh, no.
But Issa follows through onto the 2 in mid, and that's the main component of that Shadownet defense. Got any surprises given over? Yeah, they're coming around. Whoa, cheeky 2K from Chax, making things a little interesting.
Nice. Like I said earlier, he's basically the only player right now for Shadownet that's really turned on and activated. Now, there's 2 dead bodies. Indeed, they can't pick it up. So another 3-on-2 post-plant. But look, Dilution has the Hunter's Fury. He could play backside and just entirely block off lane should they basically try to aggress. There's the Cosmic Divide available, and the Alarm Bot should give them early intel as well. So yeah, no choice there for Vesta. He had to pop the Empress. But look, DigitalCasts, full kit of util, 2 smokes. He can block off backside, and even the Paranoia to help them get onto the site. It's very much doable. Let's just see how they play it.
The alarm bot's given away a position, the vulnerables apply, but they're able to get away with it. Paranoia sweeping through, Vesta will push forward off the back of that. Unfortunately, sees the turret first, able to swing onto unit anyway. Great start from the Reyna.
Yes, they're looking for more. The jump down and the fire rate boost on the Phantom, so good. Dilution 1-on-1 now, 60 HP, has to land the sharp headshot by Vesta. He's put out the Sheriff. He can probably afford to reload, but no, goes with fake defuse, and Dilution plays the objective perfectly. Goes for a swing, gets the headshot, triple for him. 11 on the board for Pigeons Esports. Oh my goodness, he even survives.
Just too good in the end. Dilution holding on, keeping themselves alive. I think Dilution's found themselves in this position quite a fair bit. They've just been the last player alive, able to buy time. And at the end of the day, that's sometimes that's all you need to do. Just play the patient game. And really, actually, it was Dilution that started out for them in that round with the Owl drone spotting out the mid-aggression. Yeah.
Now, talking about like my point last round before Shadownet just pushed that mid very rudely. Yeah, when there was that 2v2 situation, they had to shoot the recon arrow because it's 3 scans and just buys a lot of time for the attackers. The spike is down, taken away. Now, Dilution, he's used his Owl drone to scan Vesta. Does manage to take him down a little bit, and this is a really fast A-take. It's nice from Pigeon Esports, shifting up their pace a little bit, and this is so fast. Jerky, blind fire spray through the smoke, picks up DigitalCasts with the headshot, no smokes for the retake.
You gotta watch that. This is not the first time that there's been some blind fire through that door that they've been able to take care of a defender waiting there. The rotation comes through. Yuna was actually waiting in mid. It's going to be ensuring that there's no defenders sweeping around, so they know the retake is going to be coming from that heaven position. And that wall is just sublime. Now, what do? You've got maybe a Leah. That's the best you've got.
Oh!
No, must be run out of those because they just push through blind. Orange Pearl takes care of 2, and now the other 2 players are going to book it away from the site, keep their rifles in their hand for the next round. As Pigeons move on to map point, sorry.
I just want to see if Vesta had any more layers. No, he had nothing left. And Yuna going for the hunt. And then again, right now for Pigeons Esports, they can't afford to hunt. Their economy is just maxed out. Shadownet, they have to tuck their tails and run away. Look to find another day. Oh, okay. Before the timer managed to reset, Calamari, 1 shot takes down Yuna. So it's something at the very least. But look, match point and Shadownet down by 6 rounds. Once again, I just want to say that Pigeon Esports, they've done the research, I think. They sat down post-spawn, even pinged spots where potential recon arrow could be coming through. That was so coordinated. Well done. And the utility usage, ultimate usage, fantastic. The Cosmic Divide placed perfectly. And all along, you know, it just buys a lot of time. Shadownet, their backs are against the wall. You have to pass, use a flash, or just push through really aggressively. And, yeah, it's just a lot of pressure being applied, even mentally. It's unfortunate. Both teams, they have a 1-minute pause on both sides, and we haven't seen a single one come out, which is interesting. But as I've been blabbering on, 4 players have already died, 3 on 3, this early in the round.
That's the 2 ultimates gone from Pigeons, though. So Shadownet finding the 2 most crucial kills, especially the runner back and the resurrection being those ultimates.
My god.
You're going to see Yuna, though, building up towards the lockdown, taking care of the Calamari. So also early engagement wide across the map. It leaves B open. You see Shadownet defenders, they have to defend on both sides. They don't know where the attacking team is. They will get a bit of intel. The tripwires are still over on the B side, so once they're destroyed, they'll get the idea that that's where the opponent is coming from. So the rotation's already coming through. The site hasn't quite been hit yet.
Oh.
Patient games from Pigeons. Our drone's going to scope everything out, and now they aggress.
It's going to be really rough. Basically, Chax has to 1v3 this. DigitalCasts, he's literally just 1 shot. 2 HP, look at that. So he has some util. Just throw it out for Chax and basically be the bait. He doesn't even have a rifle, I think, in his hands. Is that? No. He should be handing that Phantom over to Chax, I'll be honest here. Because the Guardian is not the gun you want to try to retake a side, especially when you're the strongest player alive. Dilution playing this angle. And that turret may actually just take down Temp0ral. That got so dicey there. Oh, I hate to say this, Temp0ral, but I think this could be it. But let's hear you guide us through this.
They're just slowly making their way on. Good setup here for Pigeons. 2 players on site, 1 player in B main. Yuna opens up. There's that 2 health gone, and that's it. Map 1 goes the way of Pigeons. 13-6. What we thought was going to be a little bit closer, potentially over towards Shadownet, winds up falling into Pigeons' hands, and it's unfortunate, really, for Shadownet. I think Digital. This was normally their best map. This is where they wanted to come first off, and it just falls away from them. You
know, in the past as well, looking at the records, the thing is, when they last played together, Shadownet 2-0'd Pigeon Esports, and Ascent was a 13-5 roll, Bind was a 13-8, almost a roll, but very well done. But then again, once again, Pigeon Esports, that was a different roster. Basically, only 2 player, or maybe even 1 player from that roster back then is still remaining on this current lineup for Pigeon Esports. And look at the difference it makes, 13-6. That's remarkably clean. It's only Chax that has been able to actually make it stand against Pigeon Esports, as he's the only player up there in that sea of green. Everyone else for Shadownet, quiet game 1.
And shout out to all Sentinel players out there. Look who's on top of the ACS list. Killjoy and a Cypher.
Yeah. Not much to really talk about, I think. I've recovered everything I have to say, at least for Shadownet. It was a little bit disjointed. On their attack side, they weren't baiting out enough util defensively, especially on Astra, because starting off the first half, you know, you had, obviously, Pigeon Esports with a double sort of defensive Sentinel setup there. Well, you have Sage, and you also have Killjoy, and of course, you have Astra. I keep talking about it. They obviously make holding down sides rather easily, but they have util. That's the thing. As long as you can bait that out and use time efficiently, Shadownet, they should have been able to take those attack rounds, and obviously it didn't happen, so it's unfortunate. And they have on the defense, my worries were amplified even further. Shadownet, not really anything too defensive. It's only Chax's Cypher, but then again, there's Cypher cages and maybe a few traps, but it's not gonna really stop a push to an extent. The camera's good mainly for intel, but however, everyone else, they had to basically go aggressive, win those early duels, and we just didn't see that happening. Well, regardless, Temp0ral, let's see what map 2 brings to us, which I think in the vetoes. Yes, it will be Icebox, and anyone's game at this point. But look, I said that Shadownet, it could have been a 2-0. Now, that's not happening. It could be a reverse 2-0.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, don't go away just yet. Short breather, and we'll be back for map 2 versus Shadownet versus Pigeon's Esports. And goodness gracious, this is looking to be one hell of a show up from Pigeon Esports. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Valorant Oceania Tour Open Qualifiers 2 for Stage 3, round of 32, and, round of 16, sorry. And that was actually a really controlling map won by Pigeon's Esports. They did everything right. The players, they were popping off, they were playing together as a team, utility usage to perfection. The attack side was already good enough, and then on the defense, almost even better. Shadownet, that was allegedly their best map. They did not show up. Not to sound bad.
It's a huge credit to Pigeons, the fact that they have been so tumultuous with their roster. Even if they have been scrimming, it hasn't been very much with this specific lineup, but it looked practiced. It looked like like I'm confident that the players all know what they're doing, but they had
Yeah.
the synergy around as well. You saw it was I think Jerky and Issa over on that A side, consistently on the defense, just locking down the A main corridor, ensuring the orb control was consistently with Pigeons. It just works so well, and I'm a little worried now for Shadownet. We go into Icebox. This is where Pigeon wanted to take us, and it's a map that can be particularly over on the B side. It is of like on your coordinated aggression, making sure you've got the right players in position to get the either get the spike down or to go for those retakes. And I'm curious to see whether Shadownet have something to bring the fight to Pigeons, because I think that's this match is now Pigeons in firm control. Does Shadownet have what it takes to stick with them, finally break that round of 16 curse? Because at this point, it looks like they might be facing down the barrel of another round of 16 exit from an Oceania to an open qual.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate, and you know, this is it. The backs are against the wall, and also I just want to bring up time and time again that teams, you all have 1 minute timeouts, 1 per half. So please use it. If not to let yourself calm down and just talk about what's going wrong, at least to break the momentum of the team that's getting ahead of you. So yeah, it's like it's literally part of like a feature in the game as well. So please do use it. It may be the difference maker. Hopefully we see it though in map 2. But look, I just asked if the teams are ready, and they look to be. So without further ado, let's go into Icebox and take a look at the agent picks.
I know it's a bit different for people. People often clamor in the chat saying casters make the match start, but we actually have that power today.
Oh, well, yeah, indeed. At least I do for these streams. But, right, Icebox. And obviously, we expect to see Viper, we expect to see Sova. But the question is, Reyna or Jett? I understand that Baki really likes playing Jett, but he can't play Reyna as well. I take it back.
They're still actually going over towards the Rays as well. Reyna definitely someone you see here on Icebox a fair bit. Those layers cover a lot of distance, so a good pick. The Rays can be made to work. You're looking at those paint shells, particularly to clear out corners. Around A, definitely very useful. B, it's a little more open, so you're not going to be using them too much over that side. But yeah, of course, the Viper comes through the solo controller. You do see Dilution. So they're a little bit of a change up to the actually the same agents, but they're actually swapping around who's on what agent. It's going to be Yuna off the Killjoy onto the Sage, Dilution off Sova onto Killjoy, Issa off Phoenix onto Sova, and Orange0 picking up the Jett. This is what I expect to see a little bit more out of Orange0, straight up duelist. Yep. And we saw them doing so well, even picking up the Operator on Ascent. I definitely think we're going to be seeing it here on Icebox, especially with the Jett pick being made by that player.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if we don't, because Orange0, he's a very sharp player, at least even before he quit, Villains Esports. I've seen that they go around and seen for quite a while, mechanically impressive, and despite coming into the server, just running back, and I don't think he had any warm-up, he put on one hell of a performance. Imagine if he was on the set on a Jett operator or something, at least on map 1. It may have been even more one-sided. But then again, I'm just getting ahead of myself a little bit. We're on Icebox now. Camp controls handed over to Crash, OBS, Premier, Valorant, Observer, OCE. And on the attack side, of course, it's going to be Pigeon Esports with Shadownet starting off on defense. I'd say the composition looks pretty good. You have agents that are good for Icebox to hold down Science. Raids as well, her utility can block up those choke points for a while. DigitalCasts, Viper on B, stock standard stuff. Sage over towards A, slow orbs. And yeah, the side take though from Pigeon Esports going really fast over towards A. Early recon arrow being popped.
And you look at that lineup too, Killjoy, Sova, and Viper, all the close plant utilities. So starting out on the attack, definitely, if you're going to invest into getting one half down pat, it's your attacking half. So they've got the right agents to get the job done. They're going to leave some lurker in Dilution over across mid, watching for any rotations through there. As they make the way onto A, Orange0 going to have to be careful. Chax below them, just chunking away. It's Baki opens things up. Chax not able to finish off the Jett. She's finally shut down by Baki. So 2-for-1 trade going the way of the defensive wall. Well, you think it would be a deterrent, but no. Dilution up top, back with the rest of the team. Just Calamari here at the moment will stay alive. The spike is planted. 3v3. Question is, Calamari, can they do some damage before the rest of the team gets there? Yes, they can. Dilution down, gets spotted. Investors able to back them up. Yuna out of the fight, and now just Issa left. No utility either, so gonna have to go directly for the kills here. Pops around the corner, bobs your uncle, pistol rank, goes the way of Shadownet. 3 from 3 so far.
Yeah, that was actually not something I fully expected. Pigeon Esports, they seems like they were in prime position to take this site rather easily. Nice Sage Wall, although I think it may have not stretched far enough down, because who was it? Calamari, he managed to duck it through the little gap and got sneaky a single kill, maybe nearly 2, but then again, they just didn't see it coming, so slight mistake there, potentially from Pigeon Esports, but let's see them recreate that round again on a buy round later down the road. And Baki, I just want to point out, him buying the Sheriff for that round, not something I would always expect to see, but we are seeing it more nowadays. Just as long as he can land his shots, it's a lot of damage, and even if he can't secure the kill, his teammates can basically finish them off with a shot or two to the body, so a little bit of an assist weapon, if you will, in pistol rounds. Now, there's Pigeon Esports on the eco here, and Dilusion playing a sneaky angle. Potentially it may work out, and that's just absolute chaos. Orange0ral dives in to his death.
Unfortunate, not able to find the value they want. You can see the rest of the rotations from Shadownet also coming around from the B side. So they opened up. Oh no, they're gonna stop. Chax, so no, stop. Chax. DigitalCasts is gonna have to be careful. Dilusion is there at least watching as the rest of the team.
Oh my God.
Thinks about rotating across. So still trying to make up their mind to Digital. 4 players down. There's plenty of coverage for Shadownet across the entirety of the map.
Dilution. This is a ninja we're seeing live. Oh, just catches Baki by surprise. Obviously, Baki's just screaming in the comms. How did he get there? What the hell happened? Because it's very rare that you see like such a behind enemy lines movement from Dilusion. Now, DigitalCasts only has a Sheriff in his hands. This is going to be really difficult. He hears footsteps coming all around. He's getting fucking from all angles. Finally, Calamari has arrived to take down Dilusion. It gives a little bit more breathing space for DigitalCasts.
30 seconds left.
Jeez, that Viper's under so much pressure, but it's bought enough time. Calamari is on the scene. 4 for the Sova. Beautifully done. Nice response from Shadownet. It was looking a bit dicey there. I think a little unfortunate too for Dilution. They do get the kill, but it's the player carrying the Marshal. So if you pull a Spectre away, maybe things are a little different.
Yeah, maybe. But then again, there's not much that you can do when Calamari is just holding down the W key with an SMG and popping heads left, right, and center. Look at this. 2 rounds in. He's already 2 charges off of the Hunter's Fury, at least on the defense side. I'm expecting him to pop it at least in the next round when it's a gun round. Just use it as early as possible, in my opinion. It's the bonus round right now for Shadownet, and as long as Calamari can get 1 kill, maybe even the orb and die, that's it. I think his job here is done. Obviously, though, Pigeon Esports, they want to win this round. Guaranteed! And Baki, nice initial opener. Pixel angle, Orange0ral. No way he could have seen that.
Glass Cannon opens up early, no armor for the Jet. They've been investing heavily into these rounds. I think they might have gotten the Marshal back after the last one, so didn't at least have to buy that one there. A little surprised, actually. If they figured Barky's the kind of player that would be saving for the op, my expectation, especially on defense as Jet. In any case, as the round goes on, you can see that the toxic screen go up, apply a little bit of decay onto Pigeons as they move towards mid, but there's kind of stuck here for the moment. There's slow orb in the wall, great for slowing this push down, buying a lot of time. 50 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to make a decision. But meanwhile, Digital Shadownet has plenty of coverage between mid and B lane.
Yep, DigitalCasts spotted 2 players out, instantly gets his util out and falls right back because they already have a man advantage. No need to throw it. Just play slow and let the attackers do their job. Slowly, we are seeing Pigeon Esports start to group over towards B, and look at this. Rotations are already through. That toxic string has to go up. 1-for-1 trade. Baki still making wonders happen with the Marshal.
2 already for the Jet. The spike will be planted courtesy of the wall. Shaq's going to pop around. Oh, almost nails it. I think got a couple of tags on the Sage, but Jerky able to provide the coverage. Spike will finally be planted. 15 seconds left. Now the retake comes. It's a 3v3, so actually looking doable now for Pigeons. A couple of weapons are achieved. Issa in a nice spot to take care of Calamari. There's those paint shells over the top. Not going to be clearing in the back of yellow, though, so Jerky in a strong position. Phantom in hand. Going to have the range advantage. He gets spotted out. Boombot. Vesta just a clay Pigeon into the Viper sidelines. 2 for Baki on the 4. Could be going for the ace here. The hero of the hour. It's not to be. 3 for the Viper. Sees Pigeons get their first round win on the board.
Very well played by Baki. 2 initial openers with the Marshal and then 2 more with the Spectre. And he could have aced it actually that round just to win it for his team. Very smart play as well. He was low HP, picking up the rifle, but he had to land that guaranteed headshot onto Jerky. Unfortunately, though, didn't go his way, but it's okay. Damage has been done by Baki, actually, to Pigeon Esports. That's 4 rifles out of their hands, and their economy for Pigeon Esports is going to be very rough. Probably going to have, I mean, maybe... Okay, they are going to have 3 rifles, so it's not too bad. Okay, or 4. I take it back. I imagine it was worse, but there's half armor. How much use will they have? That's also in question. But Shadownet, that was their bonus. They're feeling rather comfortable coming into this.
If you were you, Fang, you're looking at that and saying there's only 1 rifle on that team. Just the patient game from Pigeons. First true rifle round of the map. They're putting plenty of pressure towards mid. You got Delusion looking up to making sure no one waiting in the kitchen. I think Chax is actually, Chax is definitely up there watching that angle. At least a nice shock dart, putting pressure onto the Killjoy, taking her down a little bit. Sage heals maybe coming through. No vision on the Killjoy yet though, so just a patient game so far.
Calamari, he's one off of the Hunter's Fury as well, so if he can get 1 initial opening frag, I think the plants at least, it'll be quite difficult for Pigeons Esports, even potentially losing a few more players. Nice recon arrow. Oh my god, bouncing all the way through from mid. That's nerdy as hell, but well done. Gets pops instantly though, so they know that there's at least a few players over towards A. 3 geared up for the take with the Killjoy looking over towards mid. Delusion. He hasn't moved at all, and his patience may pay off. We'll see.
Hit is coming down onto site. 4 players making their way. The duelists are joined by Calamari at the back. Bucky, nice sort of one-way, I think. Accidentally given over to the Jet. The wall is going to protect the spike plant. The Viper's Pit invested as well. Plus the lockdown. So much utility to be invested by Pigeons. They desperately want this round.
It's good as well using your ultimates early on in the game, because if you use it too late, you may not, have that high game advantage. A Delusion! Okay, next door neighbors with Chax potentially as Baki takes an Orange Pearl. Chax, sharp shot, knew Delusion was still lurking over towards mid.
Jerky's sitting out of the pit right now. Just going to be dipping back and forth in to keep it
Oh my
sustained. So far, so good, though, but the re-engage from Shadownet is amazing. 3 players down already. They've got the numbers advantage. Jerky in a tough position now. They're stuck on the outside of the pit. The Snakebite is going to take care of Del Toro. It's done. Time's up. There's no defuse coming through, even if the kills come through for Shadownet.
Wow.
Oh, Diavesta did their best, but nicely played post-plant by Pigeon. Secures them their 2nd round in a row.
Yeah, they did manage to tie the game up at 2-2. However, was it invested 2 to 3 ultimates just to win that round? Very expensive, plus 5 full buys. So the economy in this round is going to be really rough. Orange Pearl, 2 off of the blades, so probably won't be seeing it this round as well. But hey, look, on the attack side, I suppose it's a little bit easier if you are on the eco, because you have the manpower advantage. Just group together and rush onto a site. And speaking of economy, Shadownet, theirs isn't actually much to write home about either. Going down to only 1 player, Baki there. You could say, okay, you know what, they did lose that round, so the economy took a heavy toll as well. Although, earlier on, look, huge group up by Pigeons Esports, this B side looking real juicy.
Del Toro is able to dodge the owl drone there, so still in a good position. The wall will have to come down, so not going to have the protection of that. See Pigeons setting up. I think maybe... Oh, look at this, Del Toro. What a position. Nails Orange Pearl, forces the resurrection out early, backs off, and now the Hunter's Fury coming as well. Calamari trying to stop this push dead. You see the players scattering like ants away from water. It's Bucky, takes care of Issa. The Sobird climbed on top of the crates, but at the end of the day, it's 2 kills down. Yeah, the resurrection's brought you back to 4 play, but player advantage still with Shadownet Delusion going to be spotted out, courtesy of destroying the recon dart. As the attacking team make their way towards A.
Small crosshair placement thing there by Vesta. If he just held it a little bit more to the right, that should have been a rather easy shot. Unfortunate though. Shadownet looking to hold down the sights. Baki, nice opener. Gets a sneaky double. Backing up his teammate there. Looking for more. I think he single-handedly may have won his team this round. Although he dashes into Delusion. Gets the quad regardless. Get the ace. Just go for it. Orange Pearl's running away for dear life.
Running right into Del Toro's clutches.
Wow.
Calamari finished off, stealing the ace. How dare you? Oh well.
Well played.
At the end of the day, Shadownet, they get some momentum back on the board, and they carry 4 guns through as well. So crucial for them. Get their economy rolling.
Baki, he was the only player surviving from the previous round, and that I won't say, I won't call it a hero rifle, but just saving that rifle out, it paid wonders. He killed 4 of them single-handedly. And now, this is a interesting situation we have here. It seems like Shadownet, at least on Icebox, they are the ones looking more rehearsed. You have your Viper dedicated over towards B and just buys time with their utility. You have your Sage over towards A along with Ray's util. Once again, just playing defensive and blocking off those choke points, slowing a push. It's good, but now, aggression over towards mid. It's an eco from Pigeon Esports. Damage has been done, and Dilution, what are you doing, man? Okay, it's a 1-for-1 trade, thanks to Orange0rl.
Yes, the Jet Blade's making all the difference at the moment. And you see, look at that scoreboard, Barky leading the way. So finally, the Duelist is able to have a good match, or at least good start to the match. 11 kills in 5 rounds. And Shadownet looking like they're doing a little bit better. They're in command at the moment. But it's Orange0rl now taking control of this round 2 with the Blades already. This is not where you want to be doing looking at a Shadownet. You have the rival advantage. You can't be giving away kills this cheaply. You're not quite at your resurrection either, so you can't bring someone back and try and mitigate the damage.
Vesta, you see the ponytail, right? Look at this aim. This guy's like on crack or something. But Orange0rl's Blades are doing so much work right now for Pigeon Esports. He's on 3, and Issa, that's a nice Hunter's Fury, catching out Checks on the final shot there. That's all down to Barky. He went huge in the previous couple of rounds. He has to do it again.
The saving grace, perhaps, for Barky is that no rifle's been able to retrieve for Pigeons. They're still running around with those pistols. As they make their way towards B, all the bodies are either at A or... Look at the concentration of those bodies up near defenders spawn. That shows you how far the Pigeons were able to push forward and get those kills.
It's just those like one of those things. Being on an eco, you sometimes play a little bit more smarter, or maybe you play with more confidence because nothing to lose. Barky's trudging around because he knows in 1-on-3 he has to be the one aggressing and making a lot of noise. But how about, was that a frenzy? He's attacked him down to 73 HP. This is gonna be so difficult. And Orange0rl, he's legit to get the quadra in this round. Well done, Pigeon Esports going neck and neck with Shadownet.
Couple of rivals retrieves. Going to leave both economies in good stead. We're going to see rifles coming to this round. Orange0rl sticking with the Bulldogs, so a little, I guess maybe lacking a little bit of confidence to saying, okay, we're not sure we're going to take this way, so we're going to play as safe as houses. Maybe also be setting up for the operator as well. So keep the Bulldog.
They the previous round there actually, I was forced to eat my words saying that Shadownet, they look like they have Icebox basically sussed out, and then Pigeon Esports strike back with the thrifty eco, mainly off of the. Oh, what Vest? Oh my god! At the start of the round, it's crucial that you don't just stand in the open. Does he lose the ultimate? Yes, he does. That's a heavy punish.
He pulled it out. Unfortunate start for Shadownet. They've still got a few players in good positions. They're all heading over towards this A site already. You're gonna have to watch out for Dilution waiting in mid. Yeah, you can see Bucky heading back around kitchen for safety. The hit goes down onto site. Orange0rl in a good position. Calamari responds onto Yuna. Chags picking out one before being taken down themselves. So an even 3v3. It's actually 3 defenders on site for the moment. The spike hasn't been planted yet. Nice wraparound from Calamari. Shut down Issa with a quick 2k Dilution on the backside with 1. It was looking good for a little bit there for Shadownet, but again, Pigeon's able to shut it down unexpectedly.
Okay, I think this is the time when Shadownet, they should be calling for a timeout just to cool down a little bit, because they lost a 8-point ultimate from Vesta early on in the round. He just stood there. I think he was trying to place a blast back, maybe fat fingered a little bit. And then, and then he's got completely shut, like just banged in the head. And once again, Yuna, the Sage will over towards A. I like that Sage will a lot, but once again, just leaves a small gap. I'm not sure if it's intentional or if they have like, or if, once again, just such a slight positioning mistake. Now it's shattering that onto another eco. Barky has the Blaze popped. Once again, looking to really make a huge impression here and go huge. But look, they probably heard him hovering over the air. Yeah, they know that he's there for sure.
Jerky can hear sounds.
Dilution
ends up shutting things down. DigitalCasts is at least able to get away because of their own toxic screen. It drops, not able to get the drop on Jerky. So already 2 players down, B wide open. Just the 1 player, Chax, remaining on site, plugging away with the Sheriff, but always going to be a difficult task, especially against someone like Orange0rl.
Yeah, with the gun advantage as well. Calamari at least does get the trade for his teammate. Spike goes down, and for Shadownet, oh, look at this! Like, Pigeon Esports, they have so much time, and like, they're so confident that there's no one over towards B. They managed to pass the spike over towards the teammate to charge up his ultimate a little bit more. That's the Killjoy lockdown now available. Shadownet, your economy is already in a rough spot. I mean, I guess they could go for this, but maybe a save isn't actually off the table as well.
These are the two players with the least amount of credit, so I think dying might actually be more beneficial, especially on the maximum loss bonus, at least for Shadownet.
One enemy
Oh, wow.
And look, you can do a little bit of damage to your opponent's economy, so much the better, but Issa, once again, nice 2k to finish things off. Things looking good once again, so it's reminiscent of Ascent, really. A good start for Shadownet, clawed back by Pigeon, who are starting to look a little bit unstoppable.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on right now, because it was all from that one eco round that Pigeon Esports won. They're starting to build up a little bit of momentum here. 3 rounds back to back now. And on that eco round, you know, I was a little bit critical because the Illusion, he ran down mid with the Ghost. I'm like, okay, what's this guy trying to do here? Like, surely he's not expecting to get a kill, right? But he goes down, the Orange0ral instantly gets the trade, and off of that, Orange0ral just going around the map, just picking up frags left, right, and center. We saw Viper get off of B and try to watch from mid from under tube there, and against the full accuracy, even while moving from the Blaze, he was made short work of. Now, Shadownet, they're showing aggression over towards A, and I'm sorry, Pigeon Esports showing aggression over towards A, barking in a very forward position here. Being Jet, he has a privilege to dash out should he get tagged, a kill, or no kill.
Where's he going to dash to from there? The box doesn't provide much cover to anyone popping around
Perfect.
through mid. Issa, sorry, caught mid-owl drone. Nice heads-up play by Bucky. Able to get away for the moment, but Yuna's going to shut the Jet down in the end. So the lockdown clears off site. Spike will be planted nice and easy. 4v4 for the retake. A couple of ultimates. You're not going to be able to get in the position to use the Resurrection, unfortunately, though. Let's perhaps you put the Viper's bit down as to cover Vesta. Nice start. That's Yuna out of the fight. No chance of any healing. And or might have also had the Resurrection for that.
Jerky,
So
nice
probably a
flank.
critical play, but there goes Chax.
Looking for more because they knew that Jerky's on the flank. Now he's just causing so much like problems actually right now for Shadownet on the retake. But however, Orange0ral, he sort of had to swing that. He had no guaranteed intel. Nice snakebite lineup. Does it go dead onto the spike? Fantastic. Brilliant.
Hole in one. Still, the numbers with Shadownet in the end, they get the kills they need to get the spike defused, so...
Yeah.
You think, I mean, we mentioned at the start, this is a good post-plant setup for Pigeons, sorry. They've got 3 agents, which provide so much value, they're just, in that case, not able to get them in the position to succeed, even with the kills they got as they start aggressing onto side.
The thing about the side tech as well is a unit. I think that round the Sage will basically did fully cover off on the rafters completely. But unfortunately, the secret is right up top rafters. That's not like contested. So you either put a slow orb up there to guarantee no one swings out to kill you, or you have a teammate watching it. It has to be like that. Otherwise, that's what happens. Vesta just walks right out and catches Yuna with the util out. Now look, Shadownet, they're making it very competitive. Still 1 round behind Orange0ral. What the? Operator! Nice dash out by Baki. Yeah, that's easy. It takes 1 jet to no one.
That's just sublime play from Barker. They're going toe-to-toe with the Operator, reading where Orange0ral wants to go. You take that big tool out of the fight. No one's going to be retrieving that. Yuna's still 1 away from the Resurrection Vial, so you're not going to be able to put them into play.
Nice.
He's protecting that side, but Barky's moving on. Dilution now the victim. The Viper's Pit invested on B as well, so even if we see Pigeons want to make their way to that site, it's going to be very difficult for them to make the way onto site. They're going to have to invest a whole lot of utility just to clear DigitalCasts off.
Shadownet, great start already. That's 2 players down for Pigeon Esports. The Viper's Pit just slowing down the side tech a little bit. Though Jerky though, maybe able to catch Calamari off guard. They trade positions, and Deltero actually, sorry, had no idea. The Viper's Pit goes down. Yeah, I saw in the chat actually, Deltero. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So the opposing Viper's Pit does go down, and this could be a winnable situation. As I say that, Barky just walks right in, executes Jerky. The Resurrection on board as well. Barky, that spray goes to nothing.
Well, Vesta picking up with the Jet left off at least, but Orange0ral's back in the fight, Operator in hand. B's so wide open, you have to come around the wall, at least to take Yuna out of the fight, but it's just the Jet left. Question is, can Orange0rl pull off a miracle here? We saw it with the Blades before, but the Chax is just going to stick to defuse anyway. Orange0rl wants to escape with the Operator, and that round goes the way. Oh, Shadownet 5v5. We're looking at a drawn half here, so Pigeon's not quite out of the woods yet. They're still being a little bit held back.
Yeah, they are. A very close map to say the very least, you know. It's like Shadownet, after a few rounds, they find their groove again, and they make it look relatively easy. And then Pigeon, suddenly, they go on the roll. So, I'm not too sure what's happening. Only 2 rounds left in the first half, and they're calling a technical timeout. So, if Crash, you'll like to call it? Yes. Perfect. Someone else paused it. Orange0rl did it for the tournament mode. Now, look, 5-on-5, even game, 5 seconds on the clock, Barky on 15 kills. It's good to see this guy, you know, really showing up and just being a duelist and packing up the frags that he should be as a entry fragger for Shadownet. The blades are available as well, which looks like he's going to be utilizing this round, as the economy for Shadownet still a little bit rickety to say the least. Ultimates do favor them. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're saying?
I was gonna say they're a rickety bit, a tiny bit ahead of their opponent at the moment.
Tiny bit. 2 rounds left.
Actually, 2 rounds and a half. Yeah, so
not too bad.
And yeah. And like I said, having won the last 2 rounds means they lose this one, the loss bonus quite let them buy into the next one. So a little more crucial here for Shadownet to win, if they want to at least keep a draw in half, or potentially, if they win, they can go for a 7-5 at least.
Careful, Barky. He loves playing that angle, and I think Orange probably starting to be a little bit more aware now. Can you even wallbang through that? I'd be surprised. You can! Oh my god! Barky spots out Issa up close, and Pigeon Esports. They shot aggression over towards A, baited out a blade or 2. Barky wants a double dip! Misses everything. That's unfortunate. Oh no, gets taken down.
Jeez, all 5 blades whipped around Orange0rl. That Jet lucky to get away with a life, I think, in the end there. Barky on a better day. Nails it with the first. This operator out, and you've got the blades refreshed. As it is, you can see Calamari pushing through mid, but Dilution, once again, they're playing this lurk consistently. Hasn't had much to do. The turret's going to spot out the Sova there as well, so Calamari has to back away. Dilution will cross over, perhaps sensing that no one's going to be playing against the turret.
The turret placement is actually really good, but Dilution, who's looking under tube there, so not quite certain if one was over towards middle tube. Sage will also go up, and Calamari pops the Hunter's Fury, and this is Dilution's chance to strike potentially, as you can see him running up over towards mid. Yep, Dilution gets the easy one, looking for more! Has Util out, it doesn't matter, because his team just cleans up all the kills one by one, all down to Chax, has the resurrection, but it's still a 1-on-4, maybe a 2v4 if you can get a res off. 2 rounds left in the half. Do you want to use it now to win the round? I think you have to.
Probably not.
No?
No,
Okay.
You save for the next one. If you think, okay, we've gone this one, we at least think we can bring it back to an even 6v6, so we'll bring every tool we have at our disposal into the next round. You just try and take a little bit away from your opponent because, as we said before, their economy is not the best.
And goes down.
If you can deny them a little bit of intel, maybe put someone on light shields, it makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not to be. You're going to be sailing fine as Pigeons, and there'll be a bit of a force for Shadownet.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to apologize actually for pronouncing DigitalCasts' name wrong, because as soon as I saw that, like, you've seen movies, right? And the first person I compared it to was Benicio del Toro, you know, that actor for
Yeah, I get ya.
Sicario. I'm like, yo, that's a pretty sick name, man. And then, yeah, I just had that reference tied up ever since. But now that I see the E, okay. Shadownet, they're down around, and of course, last round of the half, buy everything to SMGs, and Orange0rl, okay, gets tagged down a little bit. Hunter's Fury early up from Issa. Doesn't get anything out of it, though. No tags whatsoever. But Shadownet, look at that. 3-player aggression over towards mid. Well, it was.
We saw what Orange0rl can do with the blades, but chose to invest in a Bucky as their backup option. A little bit of hubris, I think, for this Jet.
Oh, no. It's a buffet for him.
Stockpile.
Yeah. Use whatever you want, it's fine. Oh, the Yuna, look at this. He's made his way really aggressively over towards the A side. I don't think any idea. And Barky, he plays better with the rifles compared to blades. Though misses that second follow-up. I'll hype them up a little bit there. Vesta chimes right back for the trade. Calamari, next door neighbors with Issa.
If they can clear Issa out, they can retrieve those 2 rifles and upgrade themselves and put them on an even footing. As it is, numbers with Shadownet, but guns on the side of villains. You got the blades as well. Still a couple left, so Del Toro, is going to have to be very careful. The Viper just playing passively. I think actually no utility available on site for that Viper either. Bucky back into the fight as well because a full 5 stack. Nice use of the snake bite. It's not going to deny the plant.
Oh, Orange0rl, he obviously doesn't have perfect intel like we do. So if he pushed there and managed to take down that Viper, it's a great start. Because now 3v5 post-plant to hold down the spike, and they're playing offside as well. It's going to be really difficult. Orange0rl at least has the Phantom as a backup now that the blades are gone. But look, he's facing against the whole firing squad. Good start.
Through the smoke, just casual as you do. You saw the lineup there. Jerky not even participating in the fight. Last player remaining now going to have to pull out the gun. The snakebite will buy a little bit of time.
Doesn't matter.
But it's not going to be enough time. The defuse will be coming through. We go into the half 6-6. A fantastic comeback from Shadownet.
Oh, they were down by like what 3 at one point, so it's something. That's something, I guess.
Yeah, especially momentum-wise, to get themselves back into that half and put themselves on an even footing is a lot more than I think we expected from them. Maybe 6 rounds in.
The thing about that round over there was that Pigeon Esports, they had 3 players standing versus a basically 5-man retake coming from Shadownet. I think in that situation, it's probably best to really not play those lineups and just go for the straight firefight duels, because you have to make the numbers a little bit more competitive if you want to have a chance of winning that round. Because if you're basically just standing like off-site and throwing out lineups and your teammates, you know, there's no one there to trade them out, you're basically guaranteed to lose the round, because with 5 players standing, you know, they can just bum rush these sites and basically just trade out in pure numbers alone. So your lineups, it's not going to do much considering the timer. It's not even ticking down that far from 45 seconds. Okay, though, pistol rounds and Pigeon Esports playing the Rays lurking over towards A. Interestingly enough, to destroy the recon arrow. Nice, that's like mind games.
Good start. Both the both the toxic screens over on this B side early in the round. It looks like Shadownet definitely wants to play off it. They're bunching up, just waiting their time. They're forcing Pigeons to think about, okay, we've seen a little bit of presence on this side. Are they rotating? Are they sticking? Are they waiting? But it looks like they've read it correctly. They've already brought 2 more players across on the defensive side towards B. Orange0rl undecided a bit going towards A, but at least you've drawn some rotation away.
The Killjoy util, you know, it's just not being... It's unable to be repositioned over towards B, that long angle, just because of the cooldown as well. But then again, Understandable is placed over towards mid. Dilution pot shots through that toxic screen. Doesn't get anything up though. That's one hell of a lineup. Oh! It bounced once as well after the Sage Wall. Checks does escape, and his HP should be recovering as we speak. Vesta, nice opener onto Orange0rl.
I think the snake bite spent a little too long in the air, allowed the Sage to get away at the end of that, but now the retake is coming through. You're seeing 3 players stacked up towards the B side. Bucky pops through the screen. And when now 1, SU shuts it down. Trades going either way, but Yuna stuck between the walls, sticks to defuse. No matter how many numbers you have. Oh, dearie me. On Shadownet, they come away with the kills as well, but at the end of the day, it's a W on the board for the defending team.
And that's one thing I really like about playing Sage on Icebox, because like saving her wall, especially in pistol rounds, if you use it earlier on defensively, I don't think that's the right choice. On pistol rounds, if you save it for the retake and the defuse, it works wonders. Because on Icebox, you see a lot of these teams here, at least right now in the current meta, they always try to play post plant. So once you wall yourself up, it's gonna be quite rough, because sometimes you can't actually survive the utility unless, you know, it's a strong molly or shock darts. Snake bites though, for sure, because it just ticks away so slowly. No armor makes it slightly rougher, but then again, the Sage Wall may protect you with a bounce off like we saw earlier. So overall, very ballsy play by Yuna, but paid off massively. Shadownet, on the back foot, but hey, they can still come back. We've seen amazing things from them.
They're making pretty much the exact same play. 4 committed to B site. Vesta watching through mid. Gonna have to deal with Yuna. Certainly the range advantage with the Sage, and if Orange0rl chooses to poke out as well, going to be 2 to deal with for the Jet. Actually got 2 players going aggressively looking for Vesta. The Snake Bite plus the Spectre combination enough to deal with that, and now you're not worried about the lurk anymore. You get all your rotations there and surround your opponent. Isa picks up 1 before being taken down. Spike is planted, but now Shadownet on the back foot.
It's a small win. They managed to go on site. They have 1 kill now, and they've planted. So that's an ult orb, and plus that's economy for the whole team. Post plants for DigitalCasts, made to do some damage, so it's not bad. And now look at that Sage Wall. It may actually cause the snake bite to bounce off of it, given this position, or not. I'll take it back. This defuse should be rather easy, but look, 6 seconds on the snake bite. There should be plenty of time for the defuse. Orange0rl already on the flank here, gets a nasty one. DigitalCasts does strike back, gets a double mid-air. Spider-Man here. All right, 1 more, surely. No, he does get shut down eventually. Nah. Expensive round for Pigeon Esports, all things considered. But they still lead by 2 rounds here.
Definitely. Taking care of Vesta in mid, I think, crucial. Swinging that one in their favor, even with the damage that was taken to them. You see Orange0rl, courtesy of that 2-round buffer, being able to build the credits. Operator in hand, Judge for Isa. Rest of the team casually taking the bonus. So the most expensive bonus in history, I think, for Little Guns and an Operator.
Well, let's see. Sometimes buying a rifle plus big guns, it does pay off because it catches the enemy team off guard. Oh, there you go. Vesta sails right up and already valued for money. The instant pick right off the bat, and that's fear into the hearts of Shadownet potentially. But Barky, he's managed to shut down an operator user in the past. Let's him do it again. Oh dear.
I think saw the ponytail there. Orange Pearl forced off the line, able to get back there. Delusion, look at this
wow.
wraparound. Oh no, Shadownet's going to walk straight into it. They're at least watching the angle. They've got to nail it. Calamari able to get the drop onto the Killjoy. So finishing that kill off, absolutely crucial for Shadownet.
Yeah.
Now they can rotate across, but Orange Pearl already making their way through mid. Not going to get to B in time,
really.
but they'll be there for the retake at the very least.
Yeah, guaranteed, because they're hearing the audio cues now. Jokey just... a little bit of a ricochet on the snake bite there. Oh, Calamari, he just goes down to it! That tiny little bit is sticking out from underneath the wall. Nice by Jokey. Another lineup as well. Inside the poison cloud as well. It makes you damage checks enough to almost kill him? Oh, 9 HP, goodness.
Oh dear lord, Viper is just so oppressive to play against.
Indeed.
And you see Jerky
Sage will again.
really capable on both of these controllers. Yeah, Bucky able to take down Yuna in the middle of
Nice.
this diffuse. Second for the Jet. Finally shut down the operator. It's made its way onto site, but once again, it's Orange Pearl, the last player left with the big gun in hand. Didn't work out so well for them last time. Going to go for the diffuse. Snakebite will dissipate there. Vandal picked up as well.
No way. No way.
No.
Okay.
Nah, not going to happen.
He has time to do this. If he
Look
can
at
get
the
the kill to
kills.
Del-Tiro, he can stick it halfway. Oh, what a clutch. What a clutch. Quadra has the operator picked up as well. It paid off that round. I was thinking in my mind, you know, as long as he sticks it halfway and he can secure those 2 kills, it's winnable. Fully winnable. And then the last 2 players of Shadownet, they just rush right onto him. Oh, dear. I don't... Oh... It's hard to say anything about that round.
Orange Pearl.
Yeah. If he lost the operator, then that would have been a huge blow for Pigeon Esports. But just the fact that he clutched it out and even retains the gun, huge win, huge dub, and they're up by 3 rounds. Shadownet, come on, man, you guys have a timeout. Just use it. Like, just, you know, calm down maybe a little bit. Stop the momentum, because some of the players for Pigeon Esports, they're playing out of their minds right now.
They are indeed. Orange Pearl looking down that B long angle. A couple players heading that way, plus the spike. Orange Pearl will back off for the moment. 3 players from Shadownet over towards A. Bucky going to dash in. The only player with a rifle going to be shut down by a judge at close range. I think the Marshal better just tag someone. It's just probably the worst possible player to go down. Barky, the big playmaker so far from Shadownet on this map, already out of the fight. You're on an eco. It's already hard enough as it is.
Del-Tiro's by himself as well in this angle. I think he's really close. Oh, okay. Orange Pearl actually missed that shot. Del-Tiro punishes with the Spectre. Jerky, same story here. Poison Orb. Snakebite potentially. Just looking to do some chip damage. 6 seconds. Time starts now. Chax does manage to go for the plant, and Jerky just runs right in. Oh, the Delusion, the Killjoy, Molly! Yeah, they tagged him. They take down everything. Calamari picked up the operator. Good for a trade back, potentially. But now, there's a Killjoy lockdown for Pigeon Esports to attempt to retake should the spike even go down. But it's out of the hands of Shadownet right now. They have to wait and get it picked at the very least.
Even if they try and put the spike down, you chuck the lockdown in, you're not going to have a good lineup to defend it. You can just march on to the site and take it down. So the spike... So if someone plants now, they're going to get caught in the lockdown. There you go. It's invested straight away, but they're going straight for the kills. A beautiful spray. My God, played to perfection by Pigeons. They come away with 3 players as well. Double digits for them. They are closing in on advancement into the round of 8.
I don't quite remember what the economy was like for Pigeon Esports in that previous round. They'd obviously won the one prior, and Jerky, he was on a Spectre. I suppose he felt that he had nothing to really lose, and that combination with Delusion's utility was just almost pure genius, you know. Struck at the moment and just completely shut down the aggression from Shadownet. They were already on a bit of an eco to begin with. It made things even tougher. And now, double digits for Pigeon Esports. It's pretty much a full buy coming out for them. Baki, Blaze Up and Pops, along with rifles for the rest of his team. They have the Resurrection available potentially, but once again, you have to, you know, make sure it's your teammates are in a nice position to use the res on. And Orange Pearl, locking the angle down, instant shutout. Temp0ral, no flashes again for Shadownet, I think.
And they're just running, these duelists are just running straight into the sightlines of the operator. Delusion on the lurk once again. It's the same plays over and over again by Pigeons, but they keep working out. Shadownet just play in their opponent's hands. A little bit of unfortunate position there for Jerky, sees Del-Tiro take them down. So they're going to have B site locked open, but look who's on the way. Delusion in mid. Orange Pearl around the back with the operator ready. Del-Tiro almost would have seen the Jet's feet.
Oh damn. Calamari gets taken off of it. And, oh, another molly. Chax, he's used the res. No wall, 2 slow orbs. Has to go huge here. We've seen him do wonders, at least, on map 1. Good opener. Has to get the flick on. And Yuna just comes out on top. 11 on the board now for Pigeon Esports. Operator has been picked up again. They're on a roll right now, Temp0ral. And also, the previous round there, not having flashes, I think, that was obviously a slight issue. Because as soon as they go up for the swing, you know, Orange still has the operator days. By the way, it still managed to maintain for most of the past, what, 3-4 rounds? Ever since he bought it in the second of the half. It's very punishing to pick those angles. The res comes up, and then Dilution, he knows that like mid isn't being pressured too much by Shadownet, so he just keeps pushing time and time again. He has the economy to play with as well, getting the second kill onto Baki just as soon as he got rezzed. This is so bad for the mental, I think. So, which is why I think a timeout has to be essential here. But let's see what happens.
Like Vesta lucky to get away with their live this time. There's OrangePearl's over on that B side instead, because that jump up to that A Heaven side hasn't quite worked out for them so far. Issa opens up with the Hunter's Fury, gets a tag onto Vesta. OrangePearl, meanwhile, other side of the map takes care of Chax. Oh dearie me, just the Jet Stoller holding down their site, but the anchor is heavy as hell. They're going to get the rotations across as well as the rest of Shadownet makes their way, so it's going to be a full team hit for both sides. But we've seen it before, Digital. They're even getting in onto site for Shadownet and trying to get the spike down has been incredibly difficult. But taking that OrangePearl at the start is a good opening gambit.
Yeah, very nice swing by Baki there. And look at this. Shadownet, this is the first time they've done this, actually. When they got so much progress over towards the site, they just back out and rotate over to the other sites. Although, nice utility usage once again by Pigeon Esports. The turret spots out the rotations. Damage has been traded though. Issa gets taken down by Calamari with the Sheriff. Nice shot. But there is still Yuna, the Sage, lurking, staying over towards A. 20 seconds. And now look. No one knows he's there. Good for one. Looking for more. Del0ral gets the trade. Nicely done. But 10 seconds now. And Dilution, you can probably go for the swing here. Spots at the Spike, gets that kill, and now, oh dear me, it's all down to Baki. 1-on-1, Spike is down, Dilution's on, no idea what he is. No, he does know, and Baki, he tried to fly away, but Dilution still catches him out in mid-air. Match point for Pigeon Esports. Wow.
Well, Shadownet at least playing the patient game. They didn't try and force into that round, so they'll have plenty of weapons to play with, but kudos to Pigeons for getting the rotations across in time to deal with that. A little unlucky, I think, Calamari not checking that corner before trying to get the spike down. Yeah, you know you want to get it down as soon as possible to buy yourself time to get your post-plant defense set up. But you just got to check those corners. You can see where your recon dart came down. You know it's probably not covering anywhere under hell, and just unfortunate, really. They at least can buy into this round.
It was one of the small things as well, because like Shadownet, they're already down by, what was it, 5 rounds prior. And they were on the eco. Time was running short, they knew that, so they felt like there was pressure. Surely no one would be on A that fast, right? But then again, you are already at a man disadvantage. This round, look at this. Over towards A. Jets pushed up so aggressively. That's intel, and everyone's rotating over towards B. Shadownet, don't let this be it. OrangePearl starts things off, takes down Baki. No reds online, I think. Yep, nope. Well, at least they get the spike down. Good kill.
If they do, they're not even there. They're finally there. It's the enemy Viper's pit. We saw how deadly it was last time in combination with the snake bite. Shax is going to get away with a sliver of health. Just 10. The decay will wear off and give the Sage a little bit more to play with coming in. Still nowhere near that resurrection though. It's not going to be able to bring Bucky in the fight. Even if they could make the way, they jerk it inside their own pit. The resurrection onto Dilution. Jerky going ham. Finally shut down, but Pigeons, they've got the numbers, they've got the positioning, the wall is going up, the Hunter's Fury, the last ditch attempt from Shadownet. Del0ral shut down, Calamari the last play left. They're not even going to get into position to stop this defuse. They're annihilated. That's it. Pigeons are going through to the round of 8. Sorry, they are one more win away from making it through to close quals.
13-6. Is this not the scoreline for map 1 as well? Oh my god.
It was indeed.
Look at that. Like, the last time these two teams played against each other, and, you know, I said it earlier as well, Shadownet 2-0 Pigeon Esports 13-5, 13-8. But this time, Pigeon Esports, with a new roster, come right back 2-0, 13-6, both maps. An absolute job. Fantastically played. Remarkable. Absolutely. Baki, you know, he was a little bit quiet on a sense, but at least for Icebox, he absolutely turned on. Very big swings, huge kills, but it just didn't seem to be enough. And Pigeon Esports utility usage again, we saw it play wondrously, especially on Dilution as the killjoy. Just the amount of intel he got through the turret as
turret
well
in mid, yeah.
for those rotations. That's one thing. It's great, but then again, him alone also just solo basically pushing up aggressively mid, just getting intel and more often than not getting an initial opening frag for his team. It works wonders. And Shadownet. I hate to say this, but I feel like their mental just wasn't quite there, especially when things really weren't going their way. And that one round in which I think at least it was Barky, he gets taken down instantly by the second round operator on Orange Pearl, and then the res comes up. No, was it that round? Maybe not. But basically, he gets killed time and time again. Dilution on the mid push, and then that's how the cookie crumbles.
Indeed, and good on Pigeons. They run it close in both the first halves, but they're able to carry it away in the second half of the match. I think it may go back to that comment you made about Shadownet's mental a little bit, just going a bit downhill over the course of time. They do have their bright spots. It was who was on the first map that was doing well. It was Chax who leading the way forward. And this time it's Barky, but at the end of the day, it's keeping you a little bit competitive. But you need more players to be stepping up. And yeah, I think largely you said it there. Pigeons, it was all down to the class in their util usage. Those B plants, usually you see the Sage Wall go up. There's a bit of attacking Viper utility. You get the spike down, then you play for the post plant. Shadownet couldn't even get onto site. There was the Viper's Pit, there was the Snake Bites, there was those Nano Swarms as well. It was so difficult to even engage. Icebox is a very basic map in some senses. It's just rush onto site, put wall up, plant, spike. But Pigeons, they have the answer to that kind of approach, and it showed here.
It's one of those things as well, because like I think Shadownet, when they were on the attack and every single time they managed to get the spike down, they always tried to play post plants for lesser so for A, but mostly on B, and I just don't think it worked out because Pigeon Esports, they were fully aggressive. They just ran at them, and then more often than not, they either got timing for Shadownet or they just got mechanically outgunned. Plus, it doesn't help earlier on because for a lot of those rounds, it was Shadownet with the man disadvantage. And then, yeah, that's how things happen, I guess. So, well, GG. And 2-0 for Pigeon Esports. But, in true fashion, I always have an interview lined up. Today, it will be Issa to come through for Pigeon Esports. Let's see what he has to say for us, assuming he does pick up. Issa, my man, congratulations. Very clean 2-0. What changed last time when you guys went up against Shadownet? Because they 2-0'd you guys in the past.
Alright. So basically...
Oh, if you could just speak into your mic a little bit more, though.
Oh, hold on, I'll fix it for you, Mike. Is that better?
Slightly.
I think it is.
Slightly.
My mic's broken. I smacked it really hard.
It's okay. I'll turn the music down so I can hear you.
Okay, bet. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, last time we versed them, we had 3 players who we pretty much never scrimmed or anything with because they were in separate teams because, we kind of pulled a silly and did constant roster changes in LPL.
Yep.
So, I was like, enough is enough. Time to gather the cutest men known to man. And I was like, alright, bet. And then it worked. We pigeoned them today, bro. Goddamn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, when you felt enough was enough, you found a few friends and said, "Look, look, I'm putting together a team." And then they all answered the call. Huge show up, though, I gotta say. Let's just hear it. So who does the IGLing for your team?
Mr. Delusion stepped up. So I'll tell you a story, right?
Yeah.
So we initially were just going to go through no IGL. But then we're like, Delusion, are you good at IGLing? He's like, hell no. I'm like, nah, try it. And then he tried it. And we're like, wait, you're actually kind of decent at this.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, I know. And then today he just went ham. I overswung and I got abused and I was like, oh, my bad, mate. And then it worked because then I didn't swing next round.
Oh, wow. So, he was just keeping really calm and making these calls and then worked out fantastically.
Yeah, he was keeping us intact, It was very beautiful, very cute to see,
No timeouts had to be called at least for you guys because it seemed to be pretty comfortable cruising for map 1 and map 2.
We were very hesitant about that because there's a lot of times where we would just get caught out and we're just like, dude, we should time out. But we're like, no, we have momentum. And then we got the momentum and then we just, left, right, good night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. And Dilution, of course, being a player from Paradox in the past, so obviously does have a little bit more experience compared to maybe everyone else. But hey, that's just me theorizing. Temp0ral, anything from you? Oh goodness.
Yeah. So so you said you just put the team together. Have you had much chance to, I guess, scrim before this open quals, or is this
Not at all. So
not at all?
we did manage to get one scrim in, and we did decently well. It was against a team that's actually qualified as well.
Okay.
So we kind of saw that there was some hope because we got really high result in the start, but then at the end we kind of fell.
Mm.
So we sort of did some theory 2 days ago.
Yep.
But all we really did was just make lineups,
Mm.
and then we were kind of like, hey, you know what? Let's just watch a team play and then like try to copy it. But then we got bored and then we went to bed.
Okay.
We just came to the hopes of these games, like the one yesterday. We're like, all right, so we know these players individually. They're
Yep.
aggressive. We got a
Yep.
close result, but then we got a 13-6 the next map. Like, I don't know.
Wow.
I'm very proud of, like, one thing that's really surprising, Jerky64. This is his first ever like team, first ever like officials ever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually done pretty well. The good man. Like,
Yeah.
big shout out to Mr. Jonathan. Like, he's so good. Like, goddamn.
I
Yeah.
mean, his Astra play on Ascent was phenomenal. Just use of those stars, and especially combining with you on the Phoenix, it was so difficult for Shadownet to be taking the aim and control. So, I mean, for the first team play experience, Jerky, fantastic effort.
Yeah, that was beautiful of him. Like, just seeing it work for the first time, I was like, wow. Valorant is just utility based. Like, damn.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Thank you very much. Any words from you though about the next matchup you guys are going up against in the main bracket, because you've made it into the round of 8 to play against the winner of Finality versus Altered Edge.
Oh, so Finality of pretty much a new roster, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to expect from that. I have versus Altered Edge in a scrim before, very long time ago,
Yeah.
and they have some pretty strong players, but who knows, mate? The Pigeon is just different, I guess. We'll see how
Built
it
different.
goes.
Built different.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Great game. Rest up and maybe watch some more recordings of those two teams if there are any around. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me. But yeah, congrats.
They're playing on Scuba Steve's channel right now.
Oh, they are. Well, there you go. Easy intel VOD
beautiful.
review.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
guys. Wait, can I give a shout out to someone?
Please.
Go right ahead.
Shout out to my dad, Bucky. Shout out to Maz. He got arrested for tax fraud. Okay, guys. Goodbye. Good night. Have a good night. Free snowy. Okay, bye, guys.
All right. Thank you, Isa. Oh my goodness. What a man there. A little bit comedic.
What
But
an
yeah,
interview.
indeed. I was
Love
going to ask him as well who the MVP, at least for the series, would be, but I think he answered it for us. Jerky64.
Jerky, I mean-
Yeah. He played
Wow,
fantastically.
And first team experience, only had experience in ranked, and
Yep.
particularly playing a controller is something that it's not just you go out there, you flash around the corner, you get the kills. It's you are setting up your team for success, of being able to, especially with the I guess the lack of practice that this team has had, being able to set up the team in the way that it is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely one to watch going forward.
Yeah, Astra, I wouldn't exactly say she's hard, but she's not one of the easier agents to pick up right off the bat.
No.
But yeah, he did
I mean, if
great.
you go
Viper
for
as well.
easy controllers, you're
Yeah.
on Brim.
Yeah, on
Just
Brim is
open
easy.
up the iPad,
Relatively
throw a
easy.
molly.
Yep. Viper as well.
I'll
That real Hail Mary play, diving into the Viper spot, at least on Icebox, and combining with, what was it, Dilusion's molly. Oh, just single-handedly
Nanosoldier,
shut down
yeah.
the push. It was perfect. Well, guys, that's the best of 3 game for us tonight. The round of 16 for Valorant Oceania Score Stage 3, Open Qualifiers 2, Shadownet versus Pigeon Esports. Huge show up from Pigeon Esports, clean 2-0. I'm DigitalCasts, and of course, joining me tonight is Temp0ral. That's his handle right there on Twitter. Oh, sorry, did you have anything to say?
Before we go, got an
Yes.
exclusive. We got the comms from Pigeon Esports as they won the match.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh. Okay. That's actually a snippet or reference, I guess, to Straight Out of the Zoo when they first won their officials and interviewed them. But Brings me back. But yeah, now back to, of course, the credits. Temp0ral, this guy on Twitter, that's his handle. We can find him. He's a commentator in Overwatch, and now Valorant, which he's starting to get into more. Play-by-play, a little bit of color here and there. I'm DigitalCasts. That's my handle, and you can follow me on Twitter or, of course, Twitch, in which I do a lot of these things. Last but not least, thank you at CrashOBS, the premier Valorant observer in OCE. Fantastic job guiding us through the chaos. And of course, guys, that's all from us tonight. I'm going to go for a short ad break after this, and let's go for a raid afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. See you next time.